Yes.
Okay, so
We're gonna hold on one moment. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Alahym in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. We picked this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. I searched the scriptures for any of you think you had, and there they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? So all esteem and praise to Abba and Shamahim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Go ahead, Lee.
okay, so the Nephilims, is that just the giant?
Well, it translates to mighty men, so it's not necessarily referring to giants per se. That's a common. Shalom, brother, Reynolds, thought process, because it also means tyrants.
Because I know some people use it as the thing when angels.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, some people say that's where they came from. But yeah, I don't see why people think. Shalom, brother Marcus. I don't know why people think angels and women have sex. I don't know why people think that that's the thing.
Well, the verse when I heard this on Clubhouse, I heard about that there. But when they said something, I forgot where they read that. It was I think it was Genesis something. When it said the sons of God.
Yeah, you know.
Down,
Yeah, no, it didn't say it come down. People see sons of God, because we didn't talk about it. We didn't went over it before.
Yeah.
So they take sons of God and think that's angels having sex with women.
Yeah, that's the verse.
But that when you ask them if they fallen angels, how they're a son of God, and then they don't have a conversation for you after that.
I think just because it says sons of God and it says daughters of man or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Shalom, brother.
Daughters of God. I think that's
well, see, this is the thing. It'll never say daughters of God for one, because Alahym didn't produce any daughters. So that's why I say daughters of men, because Yahuwah didn't produce any daughters whatsoever. You know what I'm talking about? I know that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. Don't nobody really want to hear that. But he made Adam. The woman came from Adam. Yahuwah did not produce any women. So you can't say daughters of God in that context with that particular passage. You can say somebody's a daughter of Alahym when they're born of the word, but you can't say they're a daughter of Alahym because they can't. That's why you see in John, he say he gave him power to become the sons of Alahym, because he produced sons. He didn't produce daughters, because daughters can't carry on lineages and inheritances. So that's. But see, people don't even want to hear that. But you know what I'm saying? Because they want to look at things naturally and carnally and get upset. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say the daughters of men are the daughters of Adam, because those are Adam's daughters. Those are Adam's flesh. They're not the daughters of Alahym, because they didn't come from Alahym. They came from man. And that's really what that is. In its simplest term. It's just that people getting their feelings about that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's really not nothing worth to get emotional about, but people do. And if we was to sit down, come on, Ezra chapter 6. If we was to sit down with a group of brews and say that, I guarantee you for most of them it'd be a knockdown, drag out fight. Versus you just looking in the text. You look in Luke 3, it declared Adam to be the son of Alahym. You look in Genesis 2, he made Adam from the dust of the ground. Well, male and female. The woman came out of the man. Genesis 2 shows you that clearly. Yahuwah did not take his hands, fashion a clump of clay, and make a woman. You know what I'm saying? He took his hands, well, by a word, he spoke a word and created Adam. And then from Adam, he took out the woman. You know what I'm saying? So when you turn around and you see, well, the sons of Alahym, because these are the sons of Alahym, because Adam is the son of Alahym, and now they've gotten with the daughters of men, or the daughters of Adam, because these are the daughters that come forth from Eve, who were born of the seed of Adam. because the woman wasn't created with the seed, which is the word. She came out of the man, and the women who were produced after that come from the seed of a man. You know what I'm saying? And there's a whole other stuff that we could go into that. You know what I'm saying? As far as spiritually, but that's just really what it is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants Yahuwah to be male and female and have all this other type of stuff, and it's just not what it is. And it's not because I'm personally invested in either or. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times when we had conversations like this about stuff like people think that you might be personally invested emotionally in either way. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. I personally don't care either way. I'm just gonna go where the text take me at. You know what I'm saying? If the text point to that, then that's what it point to. If it don't point to that, then it don't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, I'll be honest with y'all, and I told this downtown. It's too many dudes that teach the word and live life, and every decision, thought process, thing that they teach or move is influenced directly by women and how women are going to react to what they got to say. And you're not a man if you move in that way. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be concerned with that. Because you'll compromise things that can't be compromised or shouldn't be compromised, or change information to make it fit in order to keep, as people like to call the fairer sex, engaged and happy about what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? And you're not a man if you're doing that, because information is information and truth is truth. And if somebody's offended by it, then so what? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you moved by another person's feelings about what is right? Who cares? I don't care about your feelings. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a grown man worrying about people's feelings, when it comes time to administering this man's word, you have a mental problem, a spiritual problem, and an intelligence problem. Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. Let the work of this house of Alahym alone. Let the governor of the Yahudim and the elders of the Yahudim build this house of Alahym in its place. Moreover, I make a decree. What shall you do to the elders of these Yahudim for the building of the house of Alahym, that the king's goods of the tribute beyond the river forthwith expenses be given unto these men, that they be not hindered, and that which they have need of, both young flocks and rams and lambs for burnt offerings of the Alahym and Shamahim, wheat, salt, wine, and oil, according to the appointment of the priests, which at Jerusalem, that it be given them day by day without fail, that they may offer the sacrifices of sweet savors unto the Alahym and Shamahim, and pray for the life of the king and of his sons. So let's come over here to Judges chapter 9. I had a dude yesterday. He was talking greasy because they were talking about a matter that this is Judges 9 and 8 that I personally don't care about. And then this is what it was. The brother was kept mentioning the verse of Obadiah. Get that verse of Obadiah 1 and 21, because we didn't talk about it before. So look at this verse in Obadiah 1 and 21. Listen to it. Make it 1 and 17.
But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, there shall be Kadashness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possession.
What did it say again?
But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, there shall be Kadash.
Tell them what deliverance is, man. Now go to Isaiah 4 and 1. Right behind this, once you tell me what deliverance is in that verse, man.
That's Pilatar, that's escape, deliverance,
an escape or deliverance, or an escape or deliverance of a remnant of people. Since you said that, before we go any further, Zechariah 13 and 5. Zechariah 13 and 5.
But he shall say, I know prophet, I a husbandman, for man taught me to keep cattle from my youth.
Mm-hmm.
And shall say unto him, what are these wounds in your hands? Then he shall answer, with which I was wounded, the house of my friends. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd and against the man, my fellow. Saith
See, notice, right? It said, want to say to him, what these wounds in your hands? Then he shall say, with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. Tell him what friends is in verse 5. See, a lot of people, they'll get upset because Zechariah not talking about itself. So then you got to ask yourself, well, who was Zechariah talking about? See, an individual who will feel like, well, you just putting Yahushua there, this, that, there, and the third. I didn't say anything about it. See, Shalom, Jay. This is what I do. I be like, well, if you don't believe it's Yahushua, who is talking about? Because who got wounds in their hands in the house and were wounded in the house of their friends? This is the question that has to be answered.
This is a hab, to love.
So it's in the house of love, because my friend's probably one word, is it? So this man say, I was wounded in the house of love. This is what it say. This is what it says. I was wounded in the house of love. So now let's get John 15 and 13 on general principle. Because this still talking about what we got to deal with in regards to this oil and getting it ruach. John 15 and 13. Listen what it say.
Greater love have no man than this.
That a man do what?
Lay down his life for his friends.
The man do what?
Lay down his life for his friends.
This man just say he was wounded in the house of love. Don't the book of Proverbs say you got a friend that stick closer than a brother? I get think that's Proverbs 18 and 24. Get it for me, man. Tell me what it say. It could be 21. I could be out one. After that, 1 John chapter 4, man, verse 7.
Yeah, it's Proverbs 18 and 24.
Proverbs 18, 24. Listen to it.
A man's friends must show himself friendly, and there's a friend that stick closer than a brother.
Now tell him what friend is in that passage, because I believe that's where it say Ahab again.
Friends is Rayon, then the other friend is Ahab.
You know what I'm talking about? So there's a love that stick closer. Tell him what stick close mean. You know what I'm talking about?
That's dabek. That's a clinging and adhering to stick closer, to cleave, to join.
So there is a love that sticks closely to you. Now we just said, greater love have no man it is that a man lay his life down for his friends. And this man said, what are these wounds in your hand? I was wounded in the house of love. 1 John chapter 4, verse 7.
Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of Alahym, and everyone that love is born of Alahym and knoweth Alahym. He that love not, know not Alahym, for Alahym is love.
Alahym is what?
Is love, and this was manifested, the love of Alahym toward us.
So when he said he was wounded in the house of love, he wasn't wounded in the house of Yasharal. He was wounded because he was in the house of Alahym. Look what he was wounded for. And this goes back to all the elements that's in that Judges 9 of each person, or each thing that was asked to reign and rule over the people. Continue.
And this was manifested the love of Alahym toward us, because that Alahym sent his only begotten Son into the world, that we might live through him.
Might what?
Live through him.
What else?
Herein is love, not that we loved Alahym, but that he loved us and sent his Son, the propitiation for our sins. Beloved, if Alahym so loved us, we ought also to love one another. No man have seen Alahym at any time.
No man of what?
Seen Alahym at any time.
No man of what?
Seen Alahym at any time.
Now, for a lot of people who believe, because like I said, this is what I was going to get to. I done came across it. So when I mentioned to the bro, I say, man, you already know that I see Yahuwah and Yahusha is the same person. So to think that we are superimposing Yahusha over Yahuwah, that's a null and void argument for me. You know what I'm talking about? That's not even an argument that I'm going to participate in. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, it's asinine. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I know a lot of people be like, who is this? And I understand, I get it. But this man said, no man seen Alahym at any time. But what the book of Exodus say? Book of Exodus say in chapter 24 that Moses and the 70 elders and Aaron, they seen the Alahym of Yasharal. Let's look and see. Exodus chapter 24, man. Tell me what verse 10 say, man.
And they saw the Alahym of Yasharal.
Oh, man. Back me up to then about 8 then.
And Moses took the blood and sprinkled on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which Yahuwah had made with you concerning all these words. Then went up Moses, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, the 70 elders of Yasharal. And they saw the Alahym of Yasharal.
Now it just said, now somebody lying. So I know more people, the Torah ain't lying. I ain't gonna say it is either. See, some people see that's the New Testament, it contradicts. Does it contradict, or is your understanding lacking? Because see, that's what one of the dudes shared with me. He said, you are influenced by Christianity. I told this nigga, bro, I ain't never been no Christian, bro. I ain't never been in no Christian church. I ain't never studied no Christian literature. I ain't never do none of that. For what? See, a lot of brews, man, I done told y'all this a lot of time. A lot of brews had this thought process that every black person was in the church and was moved by the church and this, that, then the third. Just because that's your story don't mean it's mine, my G. Because I don't come from that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that makes me anything other than a nigga who don't come from that. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't go to no Sunday school, man. I ain't been to no Wednesday night Bible studies, man. I ain't been in no revivals. I ain't been in no conferences. I ain't read none of them people's stuff. That wasn't how I was raised. It wasn't on my mind. It was none of my concern. You know what I'm talking about? When I became of age, nigga, I sold crack. You know what I'm talking about? And weed. So I was in the street. So I'm certainly not focused or concerned with any of those things. Then I went to prison. And yes, I did not read no word. I ain't study no word. Oh, no, that's a different cat. That's a different cat. Buddy was tweaking on some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is a different cat. It was a fake, but Buddy was tweaking. Yeah, Buddy was tweaking hard. That's why I ain't even give him too much attention, because that nigga was smoking crack. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm like, yeah, bro, I don't come from that. But I see why you said that, because I said that to him too. Because he asked me what was my definition of exalted, and don't give no Christian definition. I'm like, nigga, why are you even assuming that, bro? Like, what's wrong? You niggas is goofy as hell. I ain't ever looked at nobody and assumed their background. I don't know where you come from. I don't know where you've been. I don't know what you experienced. I don't know who you've been around. I'm not going to make assumptions. See, I already know that you're a jackass and a proud in life, because you've already made an assumption on somebody's thought process, because you're accustomed to speaking to certain people. So you're expecting certain conversations and outcomes from everybody that you talk to. Well, see, I've been living a little while. I've been in the street. I've been in prison. I've been around regular people. Everybody's life story is not the same. So I don't expect to get the same information from everybody that I come across. But I already done told y'all this before, man. I was taught to never underestimate anybody, because that's how you play yourself. You know what I'm talking about? And don't make no assumptions about what people know or what they don't know, because that's how you make a fool out yourself. I was taught that a long time ago. I'm going to just go ahead and let you talk, and you'll let me know if you a dummy or not. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to do all that. That's I ain't gonna lie to you. That's feminine behavior. You know what I'm saying? That's feminine behavior. As a man, you should not be doing that. You don't know this person. But he shared some junk talking about Nicene Creed, believing Jesus is God. I say, nigga, I ain't never even heard of a Nicene Creed, bro. I don't even know what that is. You know what I'm talking about? For those of you who don't know, I ain't never been in no church, man. I ain't never been in no camp, man. None of that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't study none of these nigga stuff or none of that. This ain't nothing but the mercy of Alahym or what I'm able to preach to people, man. I ain't get this from none of these dudes. You know what I'm talking about? That doesn't make me great. That don't make me special. Let all esteem be to the Alahym and Shamahim. Simple as that. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't think that a lot of these brews will know what to do with somebody when they don't. That's why they ask if you've been in the church or what camp you've been with, so they can try to box you in to be able to understand what your thought process is. You know what I'm talking about? Instead of just having a conversation. That junk lame to me, man. Just have a conversation. If you don't agree with the information, then you don't agree with it. It's not that big of a deal. You know what I'm talking about? It's like these niggas get all in their feelings because you don't agree with them. But a lot of people be like, we done had the conversation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't believe Yahushua is God. That's your business. I don't care. I don't care. I do. What you would think and what you got going on means absolutely nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to sway me if I'm already persuaded and locked in on what I'm locked in on. Unless you can manifest through the text that, nah, this is the way to go. But most of the people who got a problem with Yahushua are very unskilled in the word to begin with. I'm not listening to nan nigga who tell me they don't know the word like that. You can't tell me nothing. Because you've already acknowledged, I really don't know. So what I'm listening to you for? I'm not listening to you, bro, at all. And if you think something's wrong with that, that's a personal problem for you, because you clearly lack in the intelligence that you'll sit here and listen to somebody tell you that they're not skilled and proficient in a particular area, but you'll still hear them out anyway. I'm not listening to you. You don't know what you just told me you don't know what you're talking about. Nah, man. Go ahead, man. Where you at?
Exodus 24.
You just read that, right? It said they seen the Alahym and Shamahim. That's what it said, right? Now give me Exodus 33, man. Tell me about verse 17, say, man. Exodus 33 and 17. Tell me what it said.
And Yahuwah said unto Moses, I will do this thing also that you have spoken, for you have found mercy in my sight, and I know you by name. Mm-hmm. And he said, I beseech you, show me your esteem. And he said, I will make all my goodness pass before you, and I'll proclaim the name of Yahuwah before you, and will be merciful to whom I will be merciful, and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. Mm-hmm. And he said, you cannot see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. Mm-hmm. And Yahuwah said, behold, a place by me, and you shall stand upon a rock, and it shall come to pass while my esteem pass by, that I'll put you in a cliff of the rock, and will cover you with my hand while I pass by. And I'll take away my hand, and you shall see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen.
So he saw him then. What it is, man? What it is? John, is it John chapter 6, man? Come over here, John. Let me make sure I got you in the right spot. I don't want to waste no time. I got a lot of stuff. This just extra added stuff for John 6 ain't what I want. What I want is escaping my mind. It might be in John chapter 5. Hold on. Yeah, it is. Go ahead, man. John 5 and 30 on general principle.
I can of my own self do nothing. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of the Abba which hath sent me.
Go ahead.
If I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true.
That's right.
There's another that bear witness of me.
There's a what?
Another that bear witness of me.
And I know what?
That the witness which he witnessed of me is true.
So he telling you it's somebody who got a witness of him.
You sent unto John and bear witness unto the truth, but I received not testimony from man.
He don't receive testimony from who?
From man.
From who?
From man.
So he telling you he don't need man to testify of him. That's why that Job say what it say. My testimony is in heaven and my record is on high. That's why I say what it say. He don't need man to validate it. His Abba gonna validate it. Go ahead.
But these things I say that you might be saved. He was a burning and shining light, and you were willing for a season to rejoice in his light.
Mm-hmm.
But I have greater witness than of John, for the works which the Abba hath given me to finish, the same works that I do, bear witness of me that the Abba hath sent me.
And he said what? Abba himself have done what?
Which have sent me.
And what did Abba do?
Have borne witness of me.
And what they ain't never heard.
You never heard his voice.
And you ain't never seen his what?
His shape.
Now, how we gonna rectify that? Because it just said Moses seen his shape. Now, Exodus 20 it said the people heard a voice on the mount too, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So who did they hear? Who did they see? Because it clearly said they seen the Alahym of Yasharal in Exodus 24. But this man said, y'all ain't never seen my father, nor see you ain't never seen him, then you ain't never heard his voice. Shalom, man. So how you gonna reconcile that? Well, of course, there's instances like Isaiah 45 and 22, with every knee gonna bow and every tongue gonna confess, and I am Yahuwah alone, and this, that, there, and the third. And then, of course, you got John telling you how he made, that the word made everything. You know what I'm talking about? This, that, there, and the third. And then you begin to, and this is a key point, what I told y'all before, right? Because this is what a lot of people do. We do one thing about the Alahym of Yasharal. He not going to break his own law, right? Mm-hmm. So a man and a son can't be married to the same woman, right? So what does that tell? Because that's what a lot of people say. If Yahushua, if we Yahuwahs, then how Yahushua going to be married to her? I think I talked about this Wednesday. It don't even click in your brain that it's the same person, fool. You know what I'm talking? It don't even click in your brain. Why would the father say, nah, son, you go down there and marry my wife? Because you know why? Because what would a father do? A father would create a bride to give to his son. You know what I'm talking about? For his son to be married. Because that's what a father would do. But since we ain't raised by no fathers, whether your father was in the house or not, you don't have an understanding of that. That's a foreign concept. That your father would be that invested in what you got going on, because most of our parents were not invested in what you got going on. They allowed you to make decisions on your own that was detrimental to your own life. So to think that you would have a father, you know what I'm talking about, come around and plan your life out to the T and map your life out to the T, it's a foreign concept for you. You know what I'm talking about? That's why you've seen such a uproar about Keke Palmer with her booty cheeks out. You know, even the sad part is, because clearly, everybody, this is the part that tripped me out, right? Is that people were amazed that a man would be upset and jealous for his woman to be grinded and being serenaded by another man. Yet your God say he a jealous Alahym. You know what I'm talking about? Because if you are a man, I'm different. I would have did all that. I see my old lady looking at a nigga with the sex eyes grinding on her. I'm not going to be there when she get back. Because I'm good. Man, let me tell you something. You know what the pimps used to tell they whole man? They say, man, if a man come through, put your head down. You know what I'm saying? Don't make no eye contact. You make eye contact with another pimp, you know what I'm talking about? You might be going somewhere. But when you're dealing with it, that's what dudes used to talk about back in the day if a woman was bashful. A woman who had a man wouldn't be walking around looking at other men in the face. You know what I'm talking about? For no other reason is, hey, man, no, that's not what you do. Now, we live in a different time. Are you insecure and you jealous? This ain't got, see, insecure means to lack confidence. This ain't about no lacking confidence. You just disrespected me. And what you want, what people want men to do is to be cool with being disrespected and to go along with it. Shalom, Yasha, man. For sure, and we're gonna look at it in a second. That's what people want to do. Now, he made a mistake. Because if she been dressing like a scallywag, you ain't had no business putting no baby in no woman like that. See, that's what I be telling y'all. You don't try to change nobody. If that's who she is, then let her be who she is. You know what I'm talking about? Not finna try to change that. Change that for what? Because what's going to happen? You're going to want to dress like a hoe eventually, and it's going to be an issue. We're going to butt heads. If you know you don't want no woman to dress like no whore, then don't entertain a woman who dress like a whore. It's simple as that. But past the whole part, well, you can't go out the door and be looking with a nigga with bedroom eyes and think you finna be my old lady after that. I don't care if you famous or not. And I don't give a damn what none of these bald-headed hoes got to say. Because I ain't finna let no hoe disrespect me under no shape, form, or fashion. It ain't gonna happen. Your presence in my life is not valuable enough for me to allow you to continually disrespect me. No, that's not gonna happen. You know what I'm talking about? That's not gonna happen. You ain't got to be in no word for that. That's not gonna happen. Your presence in my life is not more important than my dignity and self-respect. And I'm not going to allow you to disrespect me just so I can be with you, so I seem like I'm a real man and a strong man to a bunch of beta male simp manginas. Nigga, I'm not doing that. I'll be by myself before I do that. I'm not going to allow no woman to continually disrespect me, and I'm going to be like, you know what, it's cool because I love her. Nigga, but you don't love yourself. And that's what Yahuwah did with us. He wasn't finna allow you to sit around here and continually disrespect him. And he just was going to sit there and be like, but I love him though. No, he's not doing that. You can slide. I'll get rid of you. And he didn't marry another people, if you would. Of course, he devised the means to bring his banish back. He said, I'll abide alone and be Alahym before I let a disrespectful woman be next to me. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm talking about? People don't understand that. That man is not on none of the type of time. Matter of fact, somebody posted a verse to show you how the book tell you don't be a trick. Ain't that something? We're going to read it in a second. Come on, where you at, man?
That John 5, you done with that?
Yeah, we good on that, man. Go to Isaiah 4:1, like I mentioned before with that Zechariah 13. That nigga crazy as hell out here, man. Can't be around here letting people disrespect you like that. Well, you got $20 bill on you, boy? I had to take it out the ATM. I tried to take it out the ATM when we was at the blue store. That hole broke.
And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by your name to take away our reproach.
So I'm not going that in great detail. No, that ain't about you getting no 7 wives. That's the 7 assemblies coming to Mashiach because you marrying a woman don't take away her dishonor. Proverbs 14:34 tell you sin is a reproach unto any people. You can't take away a woman's reproach. Joseph's name in Genesis 30 being Alahym was taking away my reproach, and the reproaches of them that reproach me, that reproach you, fell on me. So no, you marrying a woman don't take away her sin. Oh, it's the sin of her being single. It ain't no sin for a woman not to have no husband. It may not be culturally acceptable. You know what I'm talking about? See, we live in a time now where a lot of women don't care about retaining a man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women don't care about that. They don't even realize that if you don't have the ability to retain a man, you're a failure as a woman. That's why they come and try to tell you you don't have to find by a man and this, that, there, and the third. Well, hey, man, if you want to roll with that, you can roll with it all you want to. Yahuwah views it differently. You know what I'm talking about? It's different if your husband died, but you would have to look at yourself as a woman that if you ain't even able to retain a man or the certain type of caliber of men that you've only been able to deal with, that speaks to your ability as a woman. You know what I'm talking about? That's all that is, man. You can take it because see, it's different for a man. The ability of what he's able to produce and build is indicative of his ability as a man. See, a man's ability as a man is dictated into what type of woman he could keep. Is dictated on what type of woman he can get. You know what I'm talking about? You know, the lesser the man, the lesser the woman you get. The greater the man, hopefully the greater the woman you get. You know what I'm talking about? If you got a brain outside of that, yeah, man, it's about what you're able to produce and what you're able to build. If you're not able to produce and build anything, then you haven't really done anything as a man. It is what it is. You ain't got to like it. It's just reality. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff that we don't like in this reality that we live in because it'll point to deficiencies that we might have that you don't have the desire to improve on. You know what I'm talking about? So you would rather just lower things down because you just don't want to improve. You know what I'm talking about? Like every day is an opportunity for you to be better and whatever it is that you seek to be better in. If you don't seek to improve yourself, then that just means that you're content in whatever you got going on. And if you're content in whatever you got going on, then you can't be upset if somebody else wants greater and then they pushing you and they got their foot on your neck for you to improve and you looking at it is they this, that, there, and the third. But most of the time, like we've already talked about this many times over the course of almost 11 years, most of us ain't never been pushed and driven to be anything other than average. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about averages as far as how much money you can make, but as far as not challenging yourself. Because average people don't challenge themselves. You know what I'm talking about? I done told you this before. You going in the gym, you ain't really challenging yourself. You find a weight that you comfortable with on the bench press and you just go in there and do it every time. You don't decide to let me add 5 pounds. Okay, another week, let me add 10 pounds. If I've been doing 8 reps, let me do 12 next time. You know what I'm saying? Even if you only did 9, it was still one more than what you did because you said, you know what, I'm going to go past my limit. That's part of the reason why you get tried. It's part of the reason why you go through tribulation and persecution. It's in order to challenge you, in order for you to grow. Like I told you a couple of weeks ago, most of us don't want to get out of a comfort zone and be challenged because it's easy. You know what I'm saying? And greatness does not lie in easy. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. If you're seeking to do anything, it's going to be quite scary, to be honest with you. Because you got to wonder, how am I going to do it? Can I do it? You know what I'm saying? I done told y'all this before, man. Any man on here can tell you if he had any desire to do anything that in his mind he felt like was greater than him, he had a little nervousness, a little trepidation. It may not be fear. He had a little trepidation and maybe like he knew he could do it, but it's still a small little voice in the back of your mind about, but what if you can't? And he got to have the mental fortitude to block that out and push forward past that and make the sacrifice. I'm talking about it get even realer because that voice sometimes will get even louder when you don't succeed or when you make a mistake. You know what I'm talking about? See, more women will sit back and look at, or if you not succeeding, they're going to have something to say. Or if you make a mistake, they're going to be running their mouth. That's why you can't even be concerned with them. You can't even really listen to them. You know what I'm talking about? Because truth be told, if she ain't locked in on your vision and what you trying to do and finna dedicate her life fully to it, even if she can't see it, because she got to believe that you can see it. Because see your forefather, when I say your forefather, I'm talking about the disciples, the apostles more specifically, they couldn't see what Yahushua was talking about. Remember, what did Peter say? He said, oh, no, that ain't going to happen to you. That's why you seen them, what in that Luke 24, what they were saying, man, we believed it was him. They were sad because they couldn't see it. But it didn't matter if they could see it. He could see it. And as a man, that's the only thing that you could be concerned with. You got to stop crying about who don't support you and this, that. Who gives a damn? I don't give a damn if your wife don't see it. I don't give a damn if your family don't see it. Nigga, do you see it? And if you see it, then, hey, man, do what you got to do. And handle your business and be able to push through the mistakes and make the sacrifices and block that voice out and that small voice of doubt in the back of your mind that's telling you, man, you can't do it, man. You might as well just quit. You know what I'm talking about? Because it creeps in. Every man on here know what I'm talking about. If they'd never put their hand to seeking to do something, every man on here know it. You know what I'm talking about? And the balance in his manhood is what he does when he hears that voice in the back of his head telling the man, maybe what if you can't? What if this was a bad idea? What if it don't work out? What if it do? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man, that's what it is, man. I've been told you that. You know, Jay said that on Feeling It, man. You know what I'm talking about? Everything to lose and nothing to gain. You still saying. You know what I'm saying? That's what people's problem is. You looking at everything you got to lose, telling yourself you ain't got nothing to gain. That's why people don't get right in the word, because you don't think you got it. And matter of fact, Malachi tell you that. What profit have we that we serve Yahuwah? You know what I'm talking about? Because you looking at what I'm gonna gain. I'm gonna lose all this, but what I'm gonna get? You already got the wrong mentality, so you're not gonna succeed. You know what I'm talking about? You're not gonna succeed. Come on, man. Read Isaiah 4:1 one more time.
And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by your name and take away our reproach.
That's right.
In that day shall the branch of Yahuwah be beautiful and esteemed.
That's right.
Oh, mercy. That is esteemed. And the fruit of the earth, excellent and comely for them that are escaped the Yasharah.
Remember, Jeremiah tell you that his name is the branch, didn't it? Get it for him. Jeremiah 23:5, man. Because I want you to read the word for branch. That's all. Jeremiah 23:5. Come on with me.
Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch.
A righteous branch.
And the king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth.
That's good. Tell him what branch means. And then we'll get to Yahuwah, our righteousness.
Branches, samak, a sprout, growth, branch.
Come on with it now. Keep on going.
In his days Yehudah shall be saved, and Yasharah shall dwell safely, and this his name whereby he shall be called.
What's that?
Yahuwah, our righteousness.
Tell him what that is. We still holding Obadiah chapter 1, by the way, Zechariah 13 also, Judges chapter 9 also. Go ahead.
Righteousness is sadat, justice, rightness, righteousness.
So he shall be called what? Just Zadok.
Yahuwah, our righteousness.
Yahuwah, our righteousness. Yahuwah Zadok.
Keep going.
So, that's referring to the righteousness of faith. You dig? Come back over here to Isaiah 4:2. Oh, excuse me. Isaiah 4:2. Let it go.
In that day shall the branch of Yahuwah be beautiful and esteemed, and the fruit of the earth excellent and comely for them that are escaped the Yasharah.
The fruit of the earth would be what?
Excellent and comely.
What you think the fruit of the earth is? That's people who resurrect from the dead, because it would be the fruit of the womb. Come on. Yeah, I ain't. Come on.
And it shall come to pass, left in Zion and remain in Jerusalem shall be called Kadash.
Everybody left where?
In Zion, and he that remain in Jerusalem
Shall be called what?
Kadash.
Called what?
Kadash.
Okay.
Everyone that is written among the living in Jerusalem.
Everyone written among the what?
Among the living.
Written among the what?
The living.
That means if your name written in the book of life. If your name ain't written in the book of life, you ain't gonna be there, boy. You going to hell. Come on back. Where we was at, man? What I did mention we were holding, man. Zechariah 13. Judges 9. What else? Dang, I can't remember, man. Yeah, go back to Zechariah 13, man. Give me verse 5. Zechariah 13:5.
But he shall say, I know prophet, I am a husbandman, for man taught me to keep cattle from my youth. He shall say unto him, what are these wounds in your hands? Then he shall answer, with which I was wounded in the house of my friend.
So remember, he said, this is why I was wounded in the house of love. And of course, there's a love that stick close, or you're joined to. See, give me John 13. Give me verse 30. John 13, verse 30. Oh yeah, Obadiah 1. We're gonna get over there in a minute.
He then, having received the sop, went immediately out, and it was night. Therefore, when he was gone out, Yahushua said, now is the Son of Man esteemed, and Alahym is esteemed in him. If Alahym be esteemed in him, Alahym shall also esteem him in himself, and shall straightway esteem him. Little children, yet a little while I am with you, you shall seek me. And as I said unto Yahudim, where I go, you cannot come. So now I say to you, a new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another as I have loved you, that you also love one another. By this shall all know that you are my disciples, if you have love one to another.
Now back to that, I missed the Matthew 22 standing here. Come on, right to Matthew 20. Notice that he said, if you love one another. And of course, that Paul wrote, you know what I'm saying? And Peter wrote, and James wrote, and John wrote that you ought to be willing to lay your life down for your brother. You know what I'm talking about? See, you're not my brother because you are Israelite. You my kinsman according to the flesh. Let's let that be known. He to do the will of my Abba is my father. Is my mother. Is my brother. Is my sister. That's who your brother. If you don't do the will of God, man, you ain't no kin to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get caught up, because that's what the dude asked me. Say, what are we, Christians now? I say, what are you talking about? We? Who is the we? Nigga, what are you talking about, bro? You so clear that we Israel. I don't care about none of that, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care about none of that, bro. Miss me with that goofy junk, my nigga. Bro, that's why I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That's why I don't even really care to even have people who deal with the word on my Facebook page. That's why I don't even really be on there except when I'm driving, which is quite dangerous, but who cares? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? No, he'll tell you only time I look at it when we working. Drive. Other than that, we get what I'm focused on, what we doing. Give a damn about none of that other stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And when I'm in the gym, damn sure not finna, man, shoot, it's wasting here. It's wasting here. You know what I'm saying? I try to do Clubhouse, man. I can't do it. I don't want to talk to these niggas, man. It niggas make me sick, man. That just aggravate my soul because you niggas stupid in real life. You know what I'm saying? And you talk about stuff that I don't give a damn about, that I just genuinely don't care about. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you got my phone number, you call me and I'll talk to you about some word. If you want to talk about some word, don't make me no never mind. If you don't got my phone number and you want it and you want to call me and talk about some word, you ask for it. I put it right there for you. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? You call me, I talk to you about it. If you don't call me, I probably ain't gonna call you, not because I don't want to talk to you. Shoot, nigga, I don't do nothing but work and come home. You know what I'm saying? And I barely want to shoot. If I didn't have to interact with people, I probably wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Not because I have a problem with people. I just stay to myself. That's just who I am. If you talk to me, I'll talk to you. If you don't talk to me, I might not talk to you. I'm just being honest with you. Look at Lee. You know, that's how I feel. Yeah, you can talk to Lee. Lee still ain't gonna talk to you. I talk.
She's getting better at it.
You got to practice to get better. That nigga don't get on the field. But I always been like that though. You know what I'm saying? It's not something new. My mama tell you that. I'll talk to you if you talk to me. But if you don't say nothing to me, I might not talk to you. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing personal. Because if I'm gonna say something, I would rather have something to say. If I ain't really got nothing to say, then I ain't finna talk. You know what I'm saying? I'll be plotting in my mind on what my next move is. You know what I'm saying? And what I need to do and how I need to do it and how long I believe it'll take me to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You know what I'm talking about? Been like that my entire adult life. Yeah, I ain't had no problem. I smoked a lot of weed by myself because I ain't want to talk to niggas. I ain't never want to put, man, I got some weed. I got to have some money small. I don't give a damn who around here. Shoot. And you know why? Because I can, you say I only mostly talk to people I like. Well, if I talk to you, I got to like you. Because if I don't like you, I ain't talking to you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. If I don't like you, I ain't talking to you. I'm not finna pretend that I like you. I'm not finna guarantee if I talk to you, I got to like you. Because I don't talk to people I don't like. I'm being dead honest with you. I don't talk to people I don't like. And I let it be known, bro, I don't fool with you. And I don't want to talk to you. Plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't like a nigga, I don't even be bothered. So if I talk to you, I ain't got no problem with you. You know what I'm saying? I got love for you. I like you. We got to be cool. I'm talking to you. Because I promise you, boy, sure as my skin is brown. But if I don't like you, I'm not talking to you. The difference with me and others is I'm going to tell you I don't like you. You know what I'm talking about? And it ain't too many people on this earth that I do not like. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's some people I don't like what they do, but I ain't really got a problem with them per se. But it's a handful of niggas. I don't like them niggas, and I don't fool with them niggas. You know what I'm talking about? And I just care what it is. And I ain't just some niggas in the word either. It's some niggas I knew before the word, like, but I don't fool with them niggas. It's a nigga I know right now. Y'all have mercy on his soul. I don't like the way he did my homeboy Shippy. I don't fool with that nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I don't like how he did him. I wasn't that cool with him. You know what I'm saying? That was really my homeboy, older brother. But how he did our homeboy, I ain't like it. And I don't fool with that nigga. And I told that nigga about that. Because, bro, you know this man don't sell no dope, bro. And the police get behind you and you throw all your dope in his lap and jump out the car and leave him with it, bro. I don't respect that. And you grew up with this nigga. I ain't grew up with this nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Nah, man, you don't do your homeboy like that. And that let me know what kind of person he was. I don't fool with them type of people. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. Go ahead.
What verse?
Where you at?
Matthew 22.
Start at verse 1.
And Yahushua answered and spake unto them again by parables and said, the kingdom of Shamahim is like unto a certain king which had made a marriage for his son.
Made a marriage for his what?
For his son.
He said the kingdom of Shamahim is like a certain who?
King.
Which made a marriage for his who?
For his son.
For his who?
For his son.
Okay.
and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come.
So the servants are the apostles, the prophets, the preachers, the teachers. He sent them forth to the people, but nobody didn't want to come. Go ahead.
Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner.
I got oxen.
The fatlings are killed, and all things ready.
Come on through.
But they made light of.
You can read that in 2 Chronicles 36. They mocked it.
They made light of and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise.
Because they were more concerned with the cares and affairs of this life. So it choked off the word. I don't want to hear that. It's stuff I want to do. I don't care about that. Go ahead.
And the remnant took his servants and entreated spitefully and slew.
And then you got some other one came through and they murked them. But when the king heard,
he was wrong.
And he sent forth what?
His army.
That's what we were talking about. Remember what we read in 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 when he said that it's the Father's good pleasure to render tribulation to those them that trouble you. This all he telling you. If these people put their hands on you, if these people lock you up, if these people kill you, it will bring the Father in heaven and the Son at his right hand great pleasure to kill them people dead where they stand. The man told you in Luke 18, man, I'll avenge them speedily. But nevertheless, will the son of Adam find faith when he come upon the earth? Oh, he ain't got no problem with that. You ain't got to worry about it. He gonna kill them niggas, man. Go ahead.
And destroyed those murderers and burned up their city.
What we just read last night or Wednesday night about that bramble. What he said he was gonna send? Fire. I'm gonna burn them up. I got something for you. Remember when I told y'all we ended the other day last week with Micah? When I told you what I told my homegirl Bianca, that comfort my soul. See, stuff like that comfort my soul. You don't kill these people, man. I ain't even worried about these people, man. I can sleep good. I know they dead. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand something. When you know your Abba and your king is a gangster, I'm talking about a gangster. And when I'm talking about a gangster, I'm not talking about the framework of gangster like, oh, the United States government is a gangster. I ain't talking about that. I ain't talking about your niggas in your neighborhood. I'm talking about a gangster that'll look you dead in your face and let you know what it is and what it ain't. And let you know to your face that I do not see you. And if you cross me, I will come and look you dead in your eyes and pay you back to your face. And that everything I said, I meant it. And everything I said, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it when I get ready to do it. Not when you want me to do it. Not when you provoke me to do it. But when I want to do it. And when I do it, you're going to know I did it. And it's going to be undeniable that I did it. And you're going to find you somebody to play with. Yeah, that's a gangster. You know what I'm talking about? I don't answer to nobody, and I don't fear nobody. See, the United States government, they ain't no gangster because they fear Yahuwah. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas in the neighborhood, they ain't no gangster because they fear going to jail. Amen indeed, Mother Shroom. Yeah, man, you know what I'm talking about? Yahuwah a gangster because he don't fear nobody. You know what I'm talking about? What you gonna do to him? You can't be no gangster if somebody put fear in your heart. And how we know, we like, they ain't scared of the police. If you like, oh, I'm gonna shoot out with the police so I don't go to jail, you fear captivity. I'm talking about in the purest sense. Of course, we know there's some dudes out here who gangsters. I'm talking about gangsters in the purest sense. Because you can't be, there's somebody who can check you. Ain't nobody who can check you. That's why he a gangster in the purest sense. Go ahead, man.
Then saith he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go you therefore into the highways, and as many as you shall find, bid to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests.
And when the king
came in to see the guests,
he seen a man, what do he have on?
Which had not on a wedding garment.
Boy, if you ain't got that Ruach HaKodesh on, boy, you going to hell, boy. Go ahead.
And he said unto him, friend, how came you in here not having a wedding garment?
He was what?
Speechless.
You think you're going to run your mouth to Yahuwah? You not.
Then said the king to the servants, bind him hand and foot, take him away, cast into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
That's good. Somebody going to hell. Don't have it if you want to. Come on back to Zechariah 13. Don't have it if you want to. You can read verse 6 one more time.
And shall say unto him, what are these wounds in your hands? Then he shall answer, with which I was wounded in the house of my friends.
So this is what I was wounded. Tell him what wounded is. In the house of love. Because Alahym is love. Because remember what Yahushua told Pilate? You wouldn't have no power over me except it was what? Given to you from on high. It did. And what does Isaiah 53 say? Get it for him. So you can see it ain't man who did it to him, because the lamb was slain from the foundation of the world. So it wasn't man who did it. What is you talking about, bro? That boy say salt, brown sugar, and mushrooms. What you cooking? I'm just busting your ball, man. You good, man. I know you got a lot going on. Come on with it, man.
53 and 7.
53 and 1.
Who have believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yahuwah revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant and as a root out of a dry ground. He have no form or comeliness.
Why do y'all think we talk about this here, a root out of a dry ground? Remember, because you went in the pit where there was no water. You know, a root to a plant can't take it can't do nothing in dry ground, can it? What's going to happen to some vegetation, to some plants, to a tree if you put it in dry ground? Will it take root if you drop that seed in there? What's going to happen to it? It's going to wither and die. This man was able to be a root to come up out of it, kind of like what you seen in Daniel with the tree that got cut down, but the roots were still in the ground, so it began to regrow. To be able to come, see, this is what I told the brother. You so worried about Yahuwah saving and saving and saving and saving because you only focused on the aspect of getting delivered from these enemies' lands, and you ain't looking from the aspect of what he actually saved you from because you don't care about that. See, you don't care about being saved from death. Now, maybe none of y'all didn't have trepidations about dying. I ain't gonna tell you no lie, man. I'm bound with you. Every time I leave this house, I have it in my mind that it's a good chance I may not come back. You know what I'm saying? Now, I might say I'll be back, this, that, and the third, but not in the back of my mind, in the front of my mind, I know that this could possibly be the last time I walk out this door. You know what I'm saying? I don't walk around here and be like, I preach, so ain't nothing gonna happen to me. In my mind, I like if I able to come back in one piece, praise Yahuwah, because I don't have it locked in my mind that I'm coming home. Because you don't know what might happen out here, man. I just seen a news story, dude working, he caught a stray bullet. He ain't had nothing to do with what was going on. This man was working, and nigga went to shoot, and he caught a bullet. Heard a story yesterday where nigga was shooting at another nigga. And a man got hit in the crossfire. Stuff like that happen all the time. It don't register in your brain because it ain't somebody you know. You know what I'm saying? See, some stuff don't register with people because you don't know them. But of course, I've been around people who done had to pass away for a multitude of different reasons. I know people who done passed away for a multitude of different reasons. I understand the book say don't boast on tomorrow because you don't know what a day gonna bring. So I'm already knowing I leave here, I may not come back. Hell, I just seen that little white girl who got stabbed at that doggone Waffle House or whatever that is in Ponte Vedra Breeze. This young girl is paralyzed from the chest down. You think when she went over there to get them waffles or pancakes or whatever she was buying that a nigga was going to come in there and stab her up? And the only reason why she alive because a couple white boys intervened. Now this woman is paralyzed from the chest down. She didn't think that was going to happen to her when she left the house. See, the reason why I'm mentioning that is you go about your day-to-day life and everything is routine and normal for you. So you get it clicked in your mind that nothing could ever happen. See, I'm not talking about living in fear and anxiety that something is going to happen. I'm telling you this here to appreciate the ability to have a routine where nothing happens to you because you begin to take that for granted. You know what I'm talking about? You begin to take that for granted because you don't even realize you're not really understanding how precious your life is. And just as easy as you hear, you know what I'm saying? You know, UGK got a song about it. Everybody know it. One day you hear, next day you're gone. You know what I'm talking about? And that's going to be the reality for most majority of all of us. We all know somebody who I just seen this nigga yesterday and the next day they gone. They not here no more. You know what I'm saying? That don't really register in your brain because you're not thinking that something go. That's why people keep me out. They died suddenly. Nigga, everybody died suddenly for the most part. Everybody died suddenly for the most part. There's no such thing as a sudden death. Nigga, that's only in football. There's no sudden death. Death is right on time. He left here when he was supposed to leave. It's sudden to you because you weren't expecting it. Because in our pride, you believe you're gonna be here. That's one of the elements when he's talking about, you know, the love of the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. That's one of the elements of the pride of life. You know what I'm saying? That's why he say don't boast on the morrow. That's why James, when he quoted that particular passage, said that. You know what I'm saying? That's evil for you to say tomorrow we gonna do this and tomorrow we gonna do that, because it's your pride that lets you believe that you gonna do these things. Now y'all just say he saw a video of two dudes walking out of a restaurant laughing and the car lost control and ran into both of them. I'm talking about just that quick, man. Like I said, you walking out of the restaurant, you know what I'm saying? Regular stuff. You ain't expecting no car to lose control and crack you across the sidewalk. You're not expecting that. Now, see, if you live in a certain type of life, mainly in the street, you expecting violence. You're looking for it. But most people in the world, that's not the life you live. So you're not expecting that. You know what I'm saying? But it happens, man. Man, I learned real early, man. When my grandma died, and then on top, when my granddaddy died, then when I was in elementary school, man, our gym teacher, the epitome of this man was in impeccable physical shape. Fell out from a heart attack, jogging. You know what I'm talking about? I knew right then, boy, you could leave here like this. You know what I'm saying? I've been living my entire life waiting for that day. Cause I know it's coming. You know what I'm talking about? And it's closer than you could ever imagine. I ain't never look at death far away. How could I even say that? It's right around the corner. You know what I'm talking about? It's right around the corner waiting for you. That's why you got to be in Mashiach, and death ain't got no power over you. Because if you ain't got the Ruach, man, you ain't got that word in you, you ain't made you a new heart and a new spirit, then death got power over you, man. I'm sorry to tell you. And the type of salvation you looking for, like people, Moses was a savior, but Moses couldn't save you from the thing you needed saving from. You know what I'm talking about? He couldn't deliver you from the bondage that you were trapped to. You know what I'm talking about? Yahushua, son of Nun, couldn't do that. None of the book, Samson and Gideon, they couldn't do that. It was something you needed. We read it in Psalm 49, man. Get it for him again, man. You ain't lied there. Psalm 49 and 4, man. Read that for him again, man. I ain't trying to scare you. I'm trying to cause you to consider how you got to maximize your opportunity to draw near to your God while you got it. Understand how precious of a gift has been given unto you, man. You got an opportunity that most people don't get or most people don't value.
And all it takes is shoot me to doze off one time or one of these niggas make a wrong move.
Look here, man. Them niggas think I be tripping. Everything I be doing, I be like, bro, man, y'all need to pay attention. You niggas gonna hurt yourself. Nobody ever thinks about hurting themselves until they hurt themselves. You're not focused on it. Why? Because you don't think nothing gonna happen to you. You thinking that ain't no big deal. It's always a big deal. You know what I'm talking about? Depending on what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? We were just using a pole saw to cut down some limbs. There was some heavy limbs. And it took one of them to tell the nigga, move out the way. And that nigga heard that limb hit that ground and how that thump was for them niggas to respect the power of that tree limb. You know what I'm saying? Because after that, the niggas ain't want to come nowhere near that junk. But it's not respecting the power of something. Because boy, if that tree limb would have fell and hit a nigga on his head, he's done. Because I guarantee you that tree probably weighed a good 30 to 50 pounds, maybe more. That type of force trauma on the top of your head, you're out of here.
I had to cut it into 3 to 4 pieces just to make it carryable.
Oh no, it wasn't on his last album, Misha. He do got a song called that. It's on the one of my favorite albums of all time. That's on Me Against the World. Cause boy, I played that tape so much in 1994. Man, y'all have mercy on the soul, man. But Big Cud Damon would like this here. He said, nah, boy. See, I used to have a tape recorder. You know what I'm talking about? Before, you know what I'm saying? I ain't had no headphones, so I'd be playing that junk on the back of the bus. I was playing Me Against the World and Scarface the Diary every day. You know what I'm saying? Big Cud would like this here. No. Let me give you something else. He gave me to Kyle. He gave me Method Man to Kyle. Go ahead, man.
I'll incline my ear to a parable. I'll open my dark saying upon the harp. Wherefore should I fear in the days of evil? The iniquity of my heel shall compass me about.
Where you at?
Psalm 49.
Go ahead.
That was verse 5 that I just read.
Go ahead.
They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to Alahym a ransom for him.
Say they can't do what?
Redeem his brother.
They can't do what?
Redeem his brother.
And they can't give a what?
A ransom for him.
That's why he said, I came to make myself a ransom for many. Listen what he say.
For redemption of their soul precious.
The redemption of their soul is what?
Precious.
Tell them what precious means. Not the big girl. You know, I ain't never seen that movie. You seen that movie? I ain't never seen it.
That's your card to esteem, to be prized, to be valuable.
Valuable. The redemption of your soul is valuable. What you gonna redeem that with? What Moses was gonna redeem your soul with? When his soul need to be redeemed. That's how you know they get. See, this is the aspect that people don't want to accept. Well, you saying Jesus is God, saying Yahushua God, that's Christian doctrine. You big jackass, you damn fool. A man can't save a man from death. Only God can do that, doesn't it? Well, how could he do that if he became a man? I ought to kick you square in your forehead, man. That man made himself lesser in order to redeem you from what you was in. He didn't have to do that. Man could, oh yeah, that's a, yeah. Definitely. That's on that Diary album too. You know what I'm talking about? We talking about the Scarface song. I never seen a man cry till I seen a man die. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was the first time I'd never seen a man cry when somebody passed away. You know what I'm talking about? That's the first time I ever seen a man cry. I'm talking about a grown man. I ain't talking about no churn. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a grown man. Like, yeah, man, that's something else, man. Death's something else, man. That's a whole nother ball game. You know what I'm saying? And depending on who it is and the circumstances of they passing, that junk can have a deleterious effect on your mind for years to come, if not for the rest of your days. You know what I'm talking about? Even more so if you've seen it. You know what I'm saying? I done told y'all before, I seen a nigga get shot, but he ain't died. That junk ain't really affect me. It'd have been different if he died, though. I would wager. Maybe it wouldn't. But I'm talking about as far as I am from Lee right now, I sat there and watched that nigga shoot him. And I seen it. He was trying to kill him. I done told y'all this before. He was trying to kill him. The gun jam, that's the only reason the nigga ain't died, because I believe earnestly with every ounce of my soul that if that gun didn't jam, well, Ray Marley was dead that night. You know what I'm saying? And that nigga didn't care that we were sitting right there. That nigga didn't turn to us and like, I'm going to shoot y'all. I'm going to kill the witnesses. His objective was to kill him. Reason why I say that, because when that nigga did like this here in that gun jam, I'm like, damn, that nigga tried to kill him. You know what I'm saying? Because he shot him in the shoulder and then he came and hit him again. I'm like, shoot. It was the same instance in that same apartment complex. Nigga broke in my dog house trying to rob it. I think they had pistol with the sister with the shotgun. You know what I'm talking about? And somehow or another, the nigga dropped that shotgun. That shotgun went off because they was in the upstairs apartment. That just bomb went through the downstairs apartment. And the nigga who lived there, the only reason why he ain't dead, at least at that time, prayerfully he's alive now, is he decided to sleep in the living room instead of sleep in the bed. Because the doggone shotgun shell went straight through the head of his bed. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. That's the only reason why that man ain't died that night. Because he was sleeping on the couch. You know what I'm saying? See, it was the other day. It'd be certain stuff, man. I learned it a long time ago. We would ride. I said, man, son telling me to go down Normandy. I'm going down Normandy instead of getting on 10. It's a lot of stuff, man. It could have been son say, you know what, man? I'm going to lay on the couch. Or maybe he just got tired and dozed off. See, you would do stuff like that. He don't want you to die. Come talking about just as simple as this man not laying in the bed. Boy, that man would have caught a shotgun blast to the face. He was done.
Wake up.
He wasn't even gonna know he didn't wake up. Just gonna be dead. You know what I'm talking about? Man, look here, man. That's why you got to value your life, not just your natural life, but your life that you can get from Yahuwah. That's thing. That with the book. Read it to him again. The man says precious.
For the redemption of their soul, precious, and it ceased forever.
And it ceased for what?
Forever.
Go ahead.
That he should still live forever and not see corruption.
That he should still live forever and not see what?
Corruption.
And not see what?
Corruption.
Okay. Go ahead.
For you see wise men die, likewise the fool and the brutish person perish and leave their wealth to others.
See it again, man. When you go to listen what this man say, man, that you should not see corruption, decay, the grave. Man can't redeem you from that. Man can't redeem you from that. And that's the part that we don't want to accept. Man, I don't understand, and I don't understand why it's such a hard fact to understand that your God is so powerful, so merciful, so long-suffering, and so forgiving that he said he'll make himself lesser. That's what that Judges 9, that parable is talking about. They're talking about somebody making themselves lesser to give you the benefit of what they already have. There was no benefit. Yahuwah didn't get anything from doing that. He was going to be Yahuwah regardless. See, a lot of people like Yahuwah, Yahusha mean Yahuwah salvation, but it actually means Yahuwah is salvation. So Yahuwah became your salvation. He was the only person. Guess what? You broke the contract. Who the only person can redeem you from the contract that you broke? But the person who made the contract with you. Moses can't redeem you from that contract. He didn't make it with you. Yahusha, son of Nun, couldn't do that. The only person who can redeem you from that contract is the person you was in contract with. That's how we know Yahuwah and Yahusha are the same person. His father didn't make the contract with you. His son did. He gave Yasharal to his son to marry. He ain't married to her. He gonna rule over his son and his wife when he get here. Ain't that's what Isaiah 54 said? Then we read in Jeremiah, he said, I'm married unto you. Then you turn around and see a marriage supper of the Lamb. You think it's two different men who were married to the same woman. You a special type of stupid. Oh, that's that Christian stuff. Man, you ain't finna go in no Christian church and see nobody talking about what we talking about right now. Them people ain't got that type of understanding. And if they do, it ain't a lot of them. And just because they're in the Christian church don't mean everything they talking about wrong. That's the arrogance and pride of Mo Bruce. You think because you a Bruce, we in the truth. A lot of you niggas wrong. You don't know what the hell you talking about. You just argue for the sake of arguing. You feel like because you study a lot, that means you right. You can study a lot and still be a dummy. Come on, man. We good in the song, man. Come on back to Zechariah 13, man. Give me verse 7, man. I still got Obadiah 1. We'll go there. Everything we talking about was just from what was in Obadiah 1. We ain't even got nowhere in Obadiah 1, did it? Pray God.
Awake, O sword, against my shepherd and against a man, my fellow, saith Yahuwah of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. And I will turn my hand upon the little ones. And it shall come to pass in all the land, saith Yahuwah, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein.
And I will bring what?
The third part through the fire.
And he will do what?
Refine them as silver is refined.
And he'll try them as what?
Gold is tried.
And they shall call on who?
My name.
And he will what?
Hear them.
And I will say.
My people.
And they shall say what?
Yahuwah my Alahym.
Get me Psalms, man. 50 and 4. You can make it 3.
Our Alahym shall come and shall not keep silence. A fire shall devour before him.
A fire gonna do what?
Devour before him.
Ain't that what we seen with that bramble? The fire coming before him. What else?
And it shall be very tempestuous around about him. He shall call to Shamahim from above and to the earth that he may judge his people.
That he may what?
Judge his people. Gather my saints together unto me.
Who what?
Those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
They made a covenant with him by what?
By sacrifice.
By what?
By sacrifice.
That's why you got to offer yourself as a living sacrifice. They're saying, if he made a covenant with you by sacrifice, guess what you going to have to do? Now, there wasn't no sacrifice that you made with this man to enter no covenant with him in Exodus 24. So what you think he talking about? Go ahead, man.
And Shamahim shall declare his righteousness, for Alahym judge himself.
Alahym do what?
Judge himself.
Now, who coming to judge? Ain't Yahushua say he coming to judge? So if he coming to judge, guess what that make him? Okay. Play with it if you want to. How can man judge man? Ask yourself that question. They don't want to hear that, man. Come on back to Obadiah, man. Verse 17.
But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. There shall be Kadash, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahuwah hath spoken.
We know why there ain't going to be none left of the house of Esau, because the beast going to come from the seed of Esau. And because the beast come from the seed of Esau, again, it show you how this man coming with a fire to devour these people. Continue.
And the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and the plain the Philistines. And they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin, Gilead. And the captivity of the host of the children of Yasharal, that of the Canaanites, unto Zarephath, and the captivity of Jerusalem, which in Sepharad shall possess the cities of the south. And Savior shall come up on Mount Zion, a judge, the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be Yahuwah's.
See this right here, right? That's what we were talking about. Tell them what that word savior is, because it's not referring to people. That's what the point of contention was. Where we ended, because we were talking about, right? I'm like, you see saviors there in English, but it's not referring to people. What is the word, son? We talked about this not too long ago.
Shaw, to save, to be saved, to be delivered,
To get victory over.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not. So there's going to be salvation in Mount Zion. So then, of course, Nehemiah 9 was referenced. Come over here to Nehemiah 9, because I got to get to what we came here for. Nehemiah 9, man, go straight to about verse 26, man. Matter of fact, make it 25 because 24, because we've been talking about that.
So the children went in and possessed the land, and you subdued before them the inhabitants of the land,
The Canaanites, gave them what?
into their hands,
With their what?
kings,
And the what?
people of the land,
That they might do what?
with them as they would.
And what else you took?
Strong cities,
A what?
a fat land,
And you possess what?
houses full of goods,
Wells what?
digged,
He said not just full of goods, full of all goods. It was all type of stuff in there.
vineyards and olive yards,
Mhm.
the fruit trees in abundance.
So they did eat
and were filled
and became fat.
and delighted themselves in your great goodness.
But nevertheless, they were what?
Disobedient
And rebelled what?
against you.
And that's why you don't give people stuff that they don't earn. Because God taught you that. And guess what? What did they consume all their substance on? On harlots. I said that for a reason. Go to there. Proverbs 29. I said that for a reason. Proverbs 29. Let me see what verse it was. I think it's verse 3, but it might not be. This right here to tell you, man, the word tell you, man, stop being a trick. Proverbs 29:3. Listen to it.
Whoso love wisdom rejoice his father.
But he that keep company,
with harlots,
he that keep company,
with harlots,
he that keep company,
with harlots,
do what?
spend his substance.
Tell him what substance means.
That's home, that's wealth, riches, substance.
You spend your time with hoes, you're going to spend off all your money because you're going to be around here tricking. So stop fooling with hoes, man. I told you this man ain't no trick. This man don't stamp that. You just don't give nobody your substance because they there. Because they want it. So what? That's what you want. As a man, you have the right to demand a reciprocal return for your resources, man. See, I seen somebody, and I understood the point the lady made, right? These dudes in this LaPeep group be asking all kind of crazy, stupid questions, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, what if men had a 90-day rule on not spending their money? Like women have a 90-day rule for sex. And a woman was like, it's just funny to compare a meal to somebody's body. But see, this is where some people don't have the eloquence to explain. It's not about the meal. It's about the time. It's about the sacrifices. It's about the pain. It's about whatever I went through to give part of my life to accumulate something. You know what I'm talking about? And see, that's what gets minimized. It's what I had to do to make that. You know what I'm saying? See, when I would tell you this other day. One thing with most women is y'all don't really care about spending something if it ain't your money to spend. So you don't really care. You don't see it as a big deal. It's just that they're in the third. But it's different if you got to spend. Then again, some of y'all women, y'all don't care about that either. But it's the fact of, man, if I know what I went through to make $100, $1,000, $5,000, I'm not giving it to you because you want it. I'm not giving you that because you feel like I should take you out. It's one thing if I say, you know what, I want to go to such and such. I like her company. I want her to come with me. Versus, because I ain't one of them. I never really believed in that aspect of just, take a woman out on a date to convince her to like you. You begin in the process of tricking. You know what I'm saying? Because you're paying for an experience and time for this person for them to like you. You've already entered into the interaction with the mind of a trick. See, women in this generation, no, that's how you get. Who told you that somebody need to take you somewhere to get to know you? Who told you that somebody need to spend money on you to get to know you? That is a tricking dynamic. This is already training this man to spend up his substance in order to keep company with you. Tell him what company mean in that verse. This is not to say that all women are harlots. I'm talking about the mindset.
company is raw. To pasture, to tend, to graze, to feed.
Or to make company with, because it means a lot of different things. To associate with. See, we're not saying that you can't take a woman nowhere, but if you just met a woman, what you spending money on her for? She don't bring nothing to your life. She don't fit. No, you just met this woman, and in your mind, you feel like why do anybody need to take you anywhere for you to get to know them? This ain't about, oh, they using you for a free meal. We ain't on that goofy stuff right there, man. We talking about, why do you think that it is required and necessary? Or they be like, well, you got to court me. Well, courting ain't got nothing to do with taking you nowhere. That's not how you court somebody if you want to play that game. That's not how you vet somebody. You don't vet somebody at the steakhouse. You don't vet nobody at the movies. That's entertainment. How am I getting to know you through goddamn entertainment? See, that don't sound good when you're young and stupid. That don't make sense to no grown man. How you get to know a man, I'm talking about as a woman, how you get to know him through entertainment? How you getting to know? I ask him questions over dinner. You don't get to know nobody by asking them questions. You can only get to know them by seeing them in real life situations. And going out on a date is not how you're going to get to know them. And that's how a lot of women get caught up with doggone dudes. He said, should a first date be all out expensive trip? Hey, man, that's on you. I wouldn't tell you to do it. I ain't going on no first date with no woman I just met. I don't even know you. I don't even know you. What am I doing that for? I seen you. You not that beautiful that I see you and say, I must take this woman for a 4-5. No, you ain't that cute. I don't even know you like that. What am I going to do that for? I just told y'all. I just shared this. Man, my mama Ben told me I was going to work too hard for my money to get to a woman just because she spread her legs. And you think I'm finna meet a woman on the street and take her somewhere? I don't know you, man. I don't care. I'm not doing that. I ain't never did it in my life. So, you know what I'm talking about? I'm not doing that. It's different if I'm already been around this woman. I know this woman. We had interactions. And you know what? This thing popping off over here. You want to slide with me? Because I'm going to do this anyway. But I'd like for you to come with me. You know what I'm talking about? But there's already an interaction and a benefit that you're getting from this person versus just seeing a random woman on the street and you like, oh, she look good. Let me take you out for dinner. And now let me impress her with a $400-$500 meal. You tricking. You say, because women don't like Applebee's, they want Ruth Chris. Shoot, I don't give a damn what they want. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn what they like. I don't know you. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know. This ain't got nothing to do with women per se. It's got the fact that I don't know this person. I don't know you. You had no value to my life because I don't know you. You know what I'm talking about? That's my point. It has nothing to do because she's a female. I don't know you. And I'm not going to feel the need that I need to expend anything to get you to like me. For what? I don't even know you. I don't even know if you're going to be beneficial to my life existence. So why am I doing that? Do you know what I had to do to make that? Just imagine if a nigga had to pull up to that house out there in Alahym. You think I give a damn about where you want to go eat? When I just came up out that house that had trash to the ceiling, human feces in it, used sanitary pads in it, animal feces in it, more roaches than you could count. And you think I give a damn about some woman well, if you broke, just say that, man, break these nuts. I don't know you, heifer. I don't care nothing about that. You ain't finna make me feel bad about nothing. No, I'm not doing that. Man, y'all should say, I heard Jay Walker say, when a woman like you, she don't care if she eating corn dogs. Oh, Jay Waller, that's that white dude. Or steak. That's true. She's there because if she really like you, she don't care. You know what I'm talking about? She not. They only hit you. See. If you lead with that, then that's what you got to. That's what Pastor Jennings was talking about don't chase booty. When you lead with that, you always gonna have to do that. You always gonna have to do it. You know what I'm talking about? You're gonna always have to do it. That's why if they earn it, if they do X, Y, Z, then you ain't gonna have no problem with it. But I just met you. I'm gonna take you to such and such. Nigga, I don't even go to Ruth Chris on a regular basis. How dare you? I don't even like steak like that. Not to be like I want to spend $80 on one. Man, I'd rather eat fish. You know what I'm talking about? If I was going to spend some money on some food, I'd rather spend it on some fish. I don't eat steak like that. That don't move me. You know what I'm talking about? I'd rather go get some quality seafood, man. Locally caught seafood if possible. You know what I'm talking about? Fresh. Not that farm raised stuff. You know what I'm talking about? We got some good seafood spots in this city. You been to some of it? Yeah, there's some good ones around here, man. You know what I'm talking about? But you go to that doggone fish camp, boy. The big camp just had the one on Atlantic Beach. Them fish bites, nigga.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I think all them fish camps owned by the same people. That's what these said. You know what I'm talking about? They seem like it. They all serve the same stuff. Yeah, man. I'm not. This I ain't saying this just to be like, no, I'm dead serious, man. Why would I do that? Man, when I was selling dope, care nothing about all that, man. I'm not taking these hoes. No, I don't even know you. Matter of fact, I didn't even know I had no money. Not flashing my money to no broad. Look at what I got to impress you. Cause you ain't getting none. Man, you gotta do something to get something. That's what dudes get in trouble at, and that's what the book telling you. If you keep and when you're talking about a harlot, of course, it's going like this here. A harlot is not necessarily a prostitute or a woman who sleeps around. It's a particular mindset. The book tell you a whore is a deep pitch. A woman who has a certain type of mindset can destroy you. She can destroy you. Monte say these worldly women only be hungry with another nigga's money. They would eat out 4 or 5 times a day on somebody else's dime. Absolutely. It's a lot of stuff that a lot of women would do if they know they ain't got to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just like this here, right? Somebody said something about Keke Palmer. She talking about, yeah, she's a free and rich woman. So you see, and she gonna be alone. See, a woman who want to do what she want to do and move how she want to move, she's not going to be able to deal with a man because the man ain't going to deal with that. You can freely move however you want, but not away from me. Because I'm not putting up with that. For what? I don't have to. You're not that pretty. There's no woman on earth that pretty. There's not a vagina that pleasurable to deal with some of this stuff that these women that you see online or maybe face-to-face say that they own to put up with. See, most men only put up with that because they scared of her taking something from him or leaving, or they don't want somebody else to have that coochie, whatever the case may be. Man, maintain your self-respect and dignity, man. Ain't no woman worth that. No human being, period, is worth sacrificing your self-respect and your dignity as a man. Once you do that, you're not a man anymore. You know what I'm talking about? And people are going to disrespect you and run over you. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know what I'm talking about? It's just not worth it. Because we done already talked about this here, man. You seen that with Yahusha as a man, this world will use you up and spit you out and make you believe that you ain't supposed to get nothing for any and everything that you do. And everybody feel like if you did some this, now do some more. And gimme, and do this and do this and do that. And no, man, you don't have to live like that, man. Niggas go through a lot. Like I say, because most men don't openly talk about it, man. Men go through a lot on a day-to-day basis. A lot. That truth be told, that in some of the stuff that a lot of men dealt with, if they came and laid it at their woman's foot, that's why women go to looking at him crazy, because you wouldn't be able to handle what he got to carry. Because see, you might got your daddy, granddaddy, uncles, or whoever the case may be, that if stuff get too heavy for you, you can go to them. A man, for the most part, he ain't got nobody to go to. He got to carry that alone. The only person he got to go to is Yahuwah. And if he brought that to you, what he had to carry, you wouldn't be able to carry it. You wouldn't know what to do with it. You wouldn't have no counsel to give him. You know what I'm talking about? Man, I just heard, I've been telling y'all for years, man, y'all be wondering why niggas kill themselves. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be wondering why. Man, that junk get real out here, man. And for the most part, most women don't care. Because you only care about what he doing and what you can get. Most men understand that. They know it come with the territory. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, most people, you wondering why niggas be stressed out, be getting drunk, this, that, there, and the third, all this type of stuff. Nigga carrying a lot of stuff, man. And for the most part, they thinking my woman should care, and she really don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Then you looking at most men, they looking at their friends. Not that their friends don't give a damn, but most men are trained up. You don't want to be a burden to somebody else, because you know as a man, you know if I'm carrying this, ain't no telling what bruh carrying. So I don't want to drop that on him. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, dudes will sit down if it get too bad and drop. But we were just talking about what Jim was talking about. It never get that bad. For some people, it get that bad for them to take their life, man. They get tired. They don't want to be here no more. They feel like I'll be better off dead. Man, you know, I told you this before, man. And I told you, man, my cousin, he wrote that, what you could call a suicide letter, man. Most men feel like it get to the point that if they were dead, nobody would care that they were gone. You know what I'm talking about? See, y'all will go to screaming, we did care, but you didn't really show that you cared that they were here while they were here. It's easy for you to say that once they gone. But if there's a grown man, then he go to get thinking in his mind that if I was dead, nobody would care. That means that's how y'all treat that man. That's how you interact with that man. That he believed that if he was dead, your life would continue on because you don't really care that I'm here now. So me not being here would mean nothing. But nobody ever considers that because you don't think that men actually have those type of thoughts. But yeah, man, niggas kill themselves a lot, especially young black folk. You know what I'm talking about? Because I was telling Jimmy that the other day, because we were talking about this the other day. You know what I'm talking about? He was talking about somebody who knew he knew who killed himself. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, niggas be caring a lot, man. And usually when niggas kill themselves, they just feel like life is too overwhelming. They feel like they can't produce at the level that they need to produce at, or they feel like nobody would care that they weren't here. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter what you think. If that's what that man think, that's his reality. That's what most people get the problem is. Well, I don't think that. Doesn't matter what you think. That's what he believes. And he's only believing that based off how people interact with him. And you may not believe that you interacting with them, but if this man tell you that out of his mouth, that's based off the interaction that you giving him. That y'all wouldn't care if I were gone. It wouldn't make you no difference if I were dead. So dudes be like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and handle that for you. And if they don't kill themselves, they just leave. You know what I'm talking about? And be like, well, shoot, these niggas don't want me here anyway, so why am I here? And that's why, man, you got to focus on loving God. Be dead honest with you. That's what you got to focus on. You know what I'm talking about? That's what you got to focus on. You can't focus on loving your wife first, loving your kids first. You have to focus on that you love God first, and then all that flow to them from that. You know what I'm talking about? Because if you got your mind focused on people in the flesh before you think about him in the ruach, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. Because you weren't created for the woman. You were created for Alahym. You know what I'm talking about? The woman was created for you. So your focus got to be on Alahym. Her focus supposed to be on you. And y'all focus supposed to be on the turn. That's how that goes. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he mean when he tell you the head of man is Mashiach. That's his head. That's his husband. That's who he got to be focused on. If he ain't focused on him, ain't nothing he gonna be able to do for nobody else. Go ahead, man.
You got the Proverbs?
Yeah, 29:3. Wait for that. We good in Obadiah. We was in Nehemiah 26. 9-26. Nehemiah 9-26. I know that doesn't sound harsh, man, but reality is harsh.
Nevertheless, they were disobedient and rebelled against you. Cast your law behind their backs and slew your prophets, which testified against them to turn them to you. And they wrought great provocations.
That's just what you seen in that Matthew 22.
Therefore, you delivered them into the hand of their enemies who vexed them. And in time of the trouble, when they cried unto you, you heard from Shamahim. And according to your manifold mercies, you gave them saviors.
Gave them what?
Saviors.
Go ahead.
Who saved them out of the hand of their enemies.
Now go ahead and read saviors again. What word is it? Don't worry, I'll tell you. Same word that was in Obadiah. A verb. It's not referring to people. He's just letting you know that he worked deliverance out of the hand of your enemies. But this is not a deliverance from the greatest enemy, which is death. Go back to Isaiah 53, man. You can start at verse 1 again.
Who have believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yahuwah revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He have no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows, and acquainted with grief. We hid as it were faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not.
Mm-hmm.
Surely he had borne our griefs and carried our sorrows.
Go ahead.
Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Alahym, and
Smitten
afflicted.
of who?
Of Alahym.
Smitten of who?
Alahym.
Smitten of who?
Alahym.
So God is. So man ain't do that to him. God did it to him. Go ahead.
But he wounded for our transgressions,
And what else?
bruised for our iniquities.
Mhm.
Chastisement.
Notice he said he was wounded for our what?
Transgressions.
Doing he just said he was wounded in the house of what?
Love.
House of love. And Alahym is what?
Love.
Because man ain't love. So you see how it tight? Go ahead, man.
Bruised for our iniquities, the chastisement of our shalom upon him, and with his stripes we are healed.
Go ahead.
All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and Yahuwah have laid on him the iniquity of us all.
He laid on him what?
The iniquity of us all.
Go ahead.
He was oppressed, he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth.
Go ahead.
He was brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before his shearers is dumb.
Mhm.
So he opened not his mouth.
Mhm.
He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation?
Shalom, Shaul.
For he was cut off out of the land of the living, for the transgression of my people was he stricken.
Go ahead.
And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither deceit in his mouth.
Mhm.
Yet it pleased Yahuwah to bruise him.
It pleased him what?
To bruise him.
So who did it to him? Alahym did it to him.
He hath put to grief. When you shall make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see seed.
He said he made a soul offering for who?
For sin, he shall see seed. He shall prolong days, and the pleasure of Yahuwah shall prosper in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
He shall see of the travail of his soul, shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many.
That's good, man. Judges 9 and 8. It's by knowledge of this man will he justify many, or Yahuwah's a dog. You're not righteous from the law. You're righteous from the knowledge of this individual or the faith in this individual, understanding the steadfastness and reliability of that testimony that was in heaven and that record is on high. Judges 9 and 8.
The trees went forth to anoint a king over them.
And they said what?
Unto the olive reign you over us.
And the olive tree said what?
Unto them should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor Alahym the man, and go to be promoted over the tree.
And the tree said to the what?
Fig tree.
Come do what?
Reign over us.
But the fig tree said what?
Should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to be promoted over the tree?
Then the tree said to the vine.
Come you, reign over
What
us.
the vine said.
Should I leave my wine with share Alahym and man, and go to be promoted over the tree?
Then said all the trees unto the bramble.
Come you, reign over us.
And the bramble said what?
If in truth you anoint me king over you,
Come.
put your trust in my shadow.
And if not,
let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon.
now we're going to go through each one of these that the Lord permit. We talked about this the other day. But come over here to something, man. Come to Ezekiel 28, man. I want you to look at something because we talking about some trees, all this good old stuff. I'm going to do it like this here. Listen to it. Verse 1.
The word of Yahuwah came again unto me, saying, Son of man, saying to the prince of Tyrus,
Saith,
Yahuwah Alahym,
because
your heart lifted up,
and you said,
I, Alahym,
I
sit in the seat of Alahym,
in the midst
of the seed
yet
of man,
and not,
Alahym,
though you said.
your heart as the heart of Alahym.
Now y'all know what this go to, right? Y'all recall? Do you remember? If you don't, let me help you out. John 8 and 53. It said, right? He said, your heart is lifted up because you said, I'm Alahym and I sit in the seat of Alahym in the midst of the seas. Yet you a man and not Alahym. And you set your heart as the heart of Alahym. That's what it said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen to it. John 8 and 53.
Are you greater than our father Abraham, which is dead, and the prophets are dead? Who make you yourself? Thou shalt answer, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Abba that honor me.
That's right.
Whom you say that he is your Alahym.
That's your Alahym.
Yet you have not known him.
You don't know him.
But I know him. And if not, and if I should say I know him not, I shall be a liar like unto you. But I know him and keep his saying.
That's right.
Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw and was glad.
Was what? And he was glad. Go ahead.
Then said the Yahudim unto him, you are not yet 50 years old, and have you seen
Abraham? And he said what?
Truly, truly, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am.
He just told him before Abraham was, I existed. Because for him to say I am, he said that he existed. Just for those who are not aware, Exodus 3 and 14. And them people knew exactly what he was saying. They knew exactly what he meant. We went over this before. Go ahead.
And Alahym said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, you shall say unto the children of Yasharah, I am have sent me unto you.
Tell him what I am mean translate to. We didn't read verse 59 in John 8. He said they took up stones to cast at him. But Yahushua hid himself and went out the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by. What you think they were trying to stone him for? They know what he said.
Yes, hey, y'all, to become, come to pass, to exist.
To exist. When he said, I am, before Abraham was I am, he said, I come to exist. They knew what he would be talking to him in Hebrew, so they knew exactly what he was saying. John chapter 10, man, verse 26. We could make it 25.
Yahushua answered them, I told you, and you believe not. The works that I do in my Abba's name, they bear witness of me. But you believe not, because you are not of my sheep.
You ain't my sheep, as I said. That's why you don't believe nothing he's talking about. Go ahead,
my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me.
And I give unto them
eternal life,
and they shall never
perish,
neither shall
any pluck them out of my hand.
My Abba,
which gave me,
is greater
than all,
and no
is able to pluck them out of my Abba's hand.
I
and Abba are one.
Then the Yahudim
took up stones again to stone them.
And Yahushua answered,
many good works have I showed you from my Abba. For which of those works do you stone me?
Listen to what they say to him.
Yahudim answered him, saying, for a good work we stone you not, but for blasphemy.
But for what?
But for blasphemy.
But for what?
For blasphemy.
Because
that you, being a man,
make yourself what?
Alahym.
Now, ain't that what Ezekiel just said? Your heart lifted up and you say you God and sit in the seat. Let's look at another instance of him sitting in the seat of God. See, let me show you how we sit in the seat of God, man. Because if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. Exodus 25:1, man. Go ahead and read that real quick, like, man.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Yasharah that they bring me an offering. Of every man that giveth willingly with his heart you shall take my offering. And this the offering which you shall take of them, gold, silver, and brass, and blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine linen, and goats, and ram skin, dyed red, badger skin.
Drop down, man. We don't need all that. We don't need all that. Drop down to verse 16. Exodus 25:16.
You shall put into the ark the testimony which I shall give you. And you shall make a mercy seat of pure gold, 2 cubits and a half, the length thereof, and a cubit and a half.
Now, what you gonna make on it?
A mercy seat.
Okay.
You shall make 2 cherubims gold, beaten work shall you make them, the 2 ends of the mercy seat. And make 1 cherub on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end of the mercy seat shall you make the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubim shall stretch forth wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces one to another.
Drop to verse 22 so we can move along.
And there will I meet you, and I will commune with you from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubims which upon the ark of the testimony of all which I will give you in a commandment unto the children of Yasharah.
What's the purpose of the mercy seat? What does the mercy seat represent? It represents, where was the mercy seat kept? What was the ark kept? In the Kadash of the Kadash. Who the only person could go in the Kadash of the Kadash? And when he went into the Kadash of the Kadash, he went in there one time a year, specifically. What time of year was that?
Atonement.
And when he went into atonement, what did he go do? To make atonement for who?
Himself and the people.
For himself, for the people, for the forgiveness of sins, correct? So if the mercy seat is representative of Alahym on the throne, who the only person who can forgive sins according to this right here? No, only Alahym can do it. Right? Now, doesn't Exodus 20, get Exodus 24. It's Exodus 23. Exodus 23. Is that what I want, man? Exodus 23 and 20. That's what I want.
Behold, I send a Alahym before you to keep you in the way and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions for my name in him.
He will not do what?
Pardon your transgressions for my name in him.
Tell him what pardon means.
That's in the Psalm, to lift, to bear up, to carry, to take.
Malachim can't carry or take away your rebellion. Ain't that what it said? It's only one person who can do that. That's Alahym himself. Yes, it will, Tavon. Continue, sir.
But if you shall indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto your enemies and an adversary unto your adversaries. For my Malachim shall go before you and bring you unto the Amorites and the Hittites.
That's good. Remember when Moses went to make atonement, what Yahuwah told him? Can't do it. He can't reconcile. A man can't do that. Only Alahym can do that. Matthew 9:1. And maybe this will make this Matthew 9:1 make more sense since we looked at it in the law first. Maybe that'll help y'all.
And he entered into a ship and passed over and came into his own city. And behold, they brought to him a sick man of the palsy lying on a bed. And Yahushua seeing their face said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, be of good cheer. Your sins be forgiven.
Your what?
Your sins be forgiven.
Your what?
Your sins be forgiven you.
What they said.
Behold, certain of the scribes said within themselves, this blasphemy.
They said he what?
Blaspheme.
He said he blasphemed. Why they said he blasphemed? Look at what he said.
Knowing your thoughts. Wherefore think you evil in your hearts?
Why you think what?
Evil in your
hearts.
So
he just told him, why you thinking evil in your mind, man? What's wrong with you? Listen to him.
What is easier to say?
What's easier for me to say?
Sins be forgiven you.
Or what?
Say arise and walk.
But that you may know
that the Son of Man have power on earth to forgive sins.
Then he say to the sick of the palsy,
arise, take up your bed, and go into your house. And he arose.
He let them know he was God right then. Because if Malachim greater than man, right or wrong. Mm-hmm. And if a Malachim can't forgive your sins, and man can't forgive your sins, because Moses couldn't do it, then guess who that's leader, who the only person who could do it. And you think because he became a little lower than the Malachim for the purpose of sufferings of death, that that's not God. But that's Yahuwah right there, man. Because what your law say? Get it for him. Exodus 34:7. I let your law tell it to you. You can read it in verse 6. Your law gonna tell it to you. This is how you know this was Yahuwah. That Yahusha is Yahuwah. This is how you know this. Exodus 34:6, man.
And Yahuwah passed by the form and proclaimed, Yahuwah Alahym, merciful and gracious.
He's what?
Merciful and gracious.
He's what?
Merciful and gracious.
And that's what he just showed to this man with the palsy. Mm-hmm. Continue.
Long suffering and abundant in goodness and truth.
For doing what?
Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression.
Forgiving who?
Iniquity, transgression, and sin.
Forgiving who?
Iniquity, transgression, and
sin. So according to the law, who the person that can forgive sin? Ooh. But this man just said your sins be forgiven you. That's why these people, notice that he said this man blasphemed. They know what he just said. This man just said he was God. Now, all of us study the word so closely, so plainly, and you don't understand why these people had a problem with what that man was saying. They knew full well what he was saying. But you're supposed to know the law just as well as them. And you talking about that's a Christian doctrine. Just because them people were sharper than you on that matter don't mean they were wrong. The difference is they had enough sense to know, well, he forgiving sins. He got to be God. Who else can forgive sins? Your law just said a Malachim can't do it. Moses tried to do it in Exodus 32, and he said no. That's good. Come on back to Ezekiel 28. I know a lot of brothers believe that Ezekiel 28 by the devil. I don't know why, but they do, though. Verse 3.
Behold, you wiser than Daniel.
So y'all think the devil wiser than Daniel? And there's no what?
Secret that they can hide from.
Didn't you just see what this man said? Why you think evil in your hearts? You think it's a secret? You think the secret's being hid? That you think the devil got knowledge of the secrets of the hearts of men? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. With what?
With your wisdom and with your understanding, you have gotten these riches, gotten you riches.
And you have gotten what?
Gold and silver into your treasure.
Now we already know he said that his revenue is better than choice gold. He counseled you to buy gold of him tried in the fire. And that there's a man who have nothing yet have great riches, and there's a man who have great riches yet have nothing. And we know that we are made rich through Yahushua HaMashiach's poverty. And it said through your wisdom and your understanding. It's through your skill and your insight. This man understood what would happen if he died. That's why, where is his wisdom at? He said, it's expedient that I die and that I go away. If not, the comforter can't come to you. He said, know you not that I could call my father for 12 legions of Malachim? But how else will the scripture be fulfilled? That's wisdom, man. Wisdom is skill in war. He knew exactly what to do and why he was doing it. That's how he got the riches. Go ahead, man.
By your great wisdom, by your traffic, have you increased your riches?
And your heart
is lifted up because of your riches.
Tell him what riches is, man.
Kayil.
That's strength. That's wealth. You understand? Look at verse 6, man. Listen what it says.
Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Alahym, because you have set your heart as the heart of Alahym.
And we just read that Yahushua said his heart as the heart of Alahym. We could go to other places where he said that he was I am, and the people wanted to kill him. But 2 witnesses is sufficient. Continue.
Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon you.
He'll bring who?
Strangers upon you.
Bring who?
Strangers upon
Who
you.
killed the man? The Romans did it. He said strangers. Who else was in that situation? Samson. Who took him out? Philistines. Go ahead, man.
The terrible of the nations.
And they were what?
Draw their swords against the beauty of your wisdom.
And they shall defy your what?
Your brightness.
Tell them what brightness is, man.
Your fall, splendor, brightness, your shining, your beauty.
Your beauty, your honor. And it said there wasn't no beauty in him that he might be. Oh, Lucifer, son of morning, how art you falling down to the ground? Listen to what it said. They shall defile his brightness. They defiled his honor. They killed him. Listen what the next verse say to tell you that.
They shall bring you down to the pit.
They'll bring you down to the what?
To the pit.
So you think it's talking about the devil? What pit the devil got brought down to? Tell him what pit means. Oh, but he got put in the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. You think that's not what he's talking about? What strangers took the devil and put him in a pit?
That's Shakal, a pit, destruction, the grave.
The grave. The devil ain't going no grave. I know somebody who did, though. Go ahead, man. Read it again.
They shall bring you down to the pit. You shall die the death of them slain in the midst of the seas.
You shall die the deaths of those who were slain in the midst of the people. Will you yet say before him,
that slay you,
Alahym, but you shall,
a man,
and no Alahym,
in the hand of him that slay you?
Now go get Matthew 27, man, and read me verse 49.
The rest said, let be. Let us see whether Elias will come to save him.
Back me up to 44 then. Matthew 27 and 44, man.
The thieves also which were crucified with him cast the same in his teeth. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Yahushua cried with a loud, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, that is to say, my
why have you forsaken me? Mm-hmm.
Some of them that stood there when they heard said, the man called for Elias. And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge filled with vinegar and put on a reed and gave him to drink.
Mm-hmm.
The rest said, let be. Let us see whether Elias will come to save him.
Mm-hmm.
Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ruach. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in 20.
Oh, we might have backed it up a little bit. I might have missed the lane. That was good, but that ain't what I wanted. Let me see. That is not what I wanted. Yeah. You can go 35. 27, 35, Matthew.
And they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which is spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vestures did they cast lots. Mm-hmm. And sitting down, they watched him there, and set up over his head his accusation written, this is Yahushua, king of the Yahudim. Then were there 2 thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand and another on the left. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads.
What they said?
You that destroyed the temple and built in 3 days, save yourself. If you be the son of Alahym, come down from the cross. Mm-hmm. Likewise, also the chief priest mocking with the scribes and elders said, he saved others.
But himself he what?
Cannot save.
Mm-hmm.
If he be the king of Yasharal, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him.
And it just what it said in verse 9, will you say before him that slay you, I'm Alahym, you'll be a man and no Alahym in the hand of them that slay you? Did he say he was Alahym in this instance? He ain't say nothing to them people. Come on back to Ezekiel 28, man. Listen to verse 10. And you got niggas right here talking about it's the devil. It's pure stupidity, if you ask me. Did you even ask yourself this question? Why did I believe this was the devil when the people told me that? Did they show me that? Why did I believe that? Listen to verse 10.
You shall die the death of the uncircumcised.
You shall die the death of the who?
Uncircumcised.
Of the who?
Of the uncircumcised.
And by the hand of who?
Strangers.
By the hand of who?
Strangers.
Who did Yahushua die? Who hands got laid on him? Remember, get John 18. Let me see, man, because I'm trying to say it. I might have you in the wrong spot because I finna say verse 1, but we don't want verse 1. I want by verse 28. Yeah, that's what I want. 18:28. Listen to what it said, because he said by the hand of strangers, right? So that means Yasharal couldn't put the hand on it. Let's see what the book say.
Then led the Yahusha from Cephas unto the hall of judgment, and it was early. And they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled.
Lest they should be what?
Defiled.
Why?
But that they might eat the Passover.
Go ahead.
Pilate then went out unto them and said, what accusation bring you against this man?
Go ahead.
They answered and said unto him, if he were not a malefactor, we would not have delivered him up unto you.
He said, we would have not done what?
Delivered him up
Didn't
unto
it just say that he'd be going down the death of the uncircumcised and be delivered to the hand of strangers? Come on with it, man.
Then said Pilate unto, take you him and judge him according to your law.
He said, take him and judge him according to what?
To your law.
Judge him according to what?
Your law.
Judge him according to what?
Your law.
What they say.
Yehodim therefore said unto him, it is not lawful for us to put any man to death.
It's not lawful for us to do what?
Put any man
It's
to
not
death.
lawful for us to do what?
Put any man to death.
Go ahead.
That the same Yahusha might be fulfilled, which he spake, signifying what death he should die.
He said it because Ezekiel already said it. And numerous other people already said it. Samson life said it. Them people bound Samson up and brought him to the Philistines. And the Philistines, the one who put him to death. The Yahudim didn't lay no hands on him. But you superimposing this man over the text. You finna superimpose yourself in hell, you unbelieving dummy. Man, get that stuff. I understand you feel like your booty hurt from going to church, man. But could your booty really be hurt? Because you really didn't know nothing. It's okay. See, the problem is you feel like, well, they were lying to me in the church. I ain't finna let these people lie to me. And now you sitting at the house lying to yourself. You sitting here lying to yourself. Come on, man. This thing ain't hard to understand. It's right here. Oh, that's that Christian stuff. Man, let me tell you something, man. You know how many of these dudes done called me a Christian? I don't give a damn. I ain't gonna say I'm a street nigga, because I wasn't no street nigga. I was a dope boy. That's what I was. I was a dope boy. Wasn't in no church. I ain't go to prison and be like, I'm gonna get in the Bible now. I didn't do none of that. If I wasn't on the Bible on the street, I wasn't finna be in prison. I ain't finna go to jail and be like, I found God. Because that's not God finding you. That's you trying to make yourself feel better about the stupid stuff. Let me tell you something, man. You don't find Yahuwah. Yahuwah will find you. You know what I'm talking about? Let that be known. Unless you looking for him. But most of us, you ain't looking for him. You wasn't looking for him. Even if you was dealing with the word, you still wasn't looking for him. And you know how you know you wasn't looking for him? Because you still had a mind and heart set to do what you wanted to do. So you wasn't looking for him. Because unless you had a mind and a heart to serve the man, you wasn't looking for him. I don't care if you were going to what Christian, I don't care if you went to a Christian college, a Christian high school, a Christian middle school, a Christian elementary school. I don't care if you went to every single solitary service that your doggone church can have. I don't care if you went to every revival and read the Bible and watched every doggone show on TBN. If you ain't have it set in your heart that you were going to serve the man, you wasn't looking for him. Now, there may have been a part of you that longed for him, you know what I'm talking about, with utterances that you couldn't even hear. But consciously, you wasn't looking for him. Just because you felt like you read the Bible and you did a few things don't mean you were looking for him. Because your life was reflective that you weren't looking for him. See, you want to look at, well, I was doing this. You could be like that now. You could show up to every Sabbath and post every script and read all the time. That don't mean you were looking for him. That don't mean you are looking for him now. That don't mean that. You looking to make yourself feel comfortable in the selfish desires of your hearts as you try to figure out a plan how you can go do what it is that you want to do versus what it is that you need to do. You know what I'm talking about? Because you're not fooling nobody but yourself. That's what we be out here doing, but we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that because we don't believe the word. You can take that and do what you want to with it. Feel how you wish. Ezekiel 28:11. Don't make me know nothing, man.
You was on down 18?
Yep, that's all we needed. Listen to it.
You shall die the deaths of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers, for I have spoken, saith Yahuwah Alahym. Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying,
Son of man.
Take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus,
And say,
Unto him, thus saith Yahuwah Alahym,
You seal up the sum,
full of wisdom,
perfect in what?
beauty.
Tell him what perfect in beauty is. Now you got to ask yourself, son, the king of Tyrus wasn't in the Garden of Eden. We know that. See, a lot of people say, well, the serpent was in the garden. You think the serpent was full of beauty, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty? You stupid. What is perfect?
That's Khalil, entire, all perfect.
So you think Satan was perfect? Come on, man. What's beauty?
That's your feet, beauty.
So you think this man was perfect in beauty and full of kokma and full of skill? Listen what the next thing he say in verse 13.
You have been in Eden, the garden of Alahym, every precious stone, your covering.
Tell him what covering is.
The sukkah, that's a covering, a garniture.
Listen what was on the covering.
Sardius, topaz, the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, jasper, sapphire, emerald, the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of your tab.
Pause for a moment. Now, I want you to come over here to Exodus 28 and 15. And I just want to see if any of these things might sound a bit familiar to you. Exodus 28 and 15. Listen to it.
You shall make a breastplate of judgment with cunning work.
We'll make it with what?
With cunning work.
With what?
Cunning work.
Didn't it just say there was some workmanship going on with that? Let's listen to it.
After the work of the ephod, you shall make it gold, blue, purple, scarlet, fine twined linen.
That's part of the reason why you see what color did it say that the great whore of Babylon would be having on? Y'all know, y'all remember. Who can help me out and tell me?
Purple.
Well, let me take a look and help y'all out. You can stay where you at. I'm gonna go over here to Revelation 17, man. I'm gonna read it for you. Right here in Revelation 17, man, it said the woman in verse 4, the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and the filth of her fornication. So what it sounds like this bald-headed hoe is trying to masquerade herself as being? A high priest. You're supposed to know your law to pick up on these things, man. Because what the high priest garment had in it, purple and what? Scarlet. See, that's the Catholic Church. Sit your phone behind down somewhere. Read verse 15 again.
Same color. And you shall make the breastplate of judgment with cunning work. After the work of the ephod, you shall make gold, blue, purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen shall you make.
Verse 16, listen to it closely.
4 square it shall be, double, a span, the length thereof, and a span, the breadth thereof.
And you shall set in it what?
Settings of stone.
Settings of who?
Of stone.
Settings of who?
Of stone.
Now hold on, right? I'm in verse 13, Ezekiel 28. He said, every precious stone was your what? Your covering. That's what it said, right? Now listen to these stones, man. What kind of stones was in this row?
4 rolls of stone. The first
Sardius. And what else?
Topaz.
And a what?
Carbuncle.
Now when we come over here to Ezekiel 28, guess what you see? A sardius and a topaz and a carbuncle. Let's look at the next row.
The second row, an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond.
Now when you look at these, what else we see? There's the sapphire, there's the emerald, and there's the diamond. Let's continue.
The third row, a ligure, agate,
And an amethyst. Continue. Those ain't
row,
mentioned.
a beryl, onyx, and a jasper.
But beryl, onyx, and jasper is mentioned.
They shall be set in gold, and their enclosing.
And the stone shall be what?
With the names of the children of Yasharal.
12.
According to their names.
Like the engravings.
Of the signet.
Every one.
Of his name shall it be according to the 12 tribes.
Now see, some people be like, you trying to word man. No, you jackass. You supposed to know the high priest breastplate when you see it. So you telling me the devil got on God's breastplate for the high priest? You a damn fool if I ever seen one. Why you letting these people who don't know what the hell they talking about tell you something, man? You just seen this man breastplate word for word, bro. And it said that this man had this on in Eden. You think the devil had the breastplate of righteousness on, man? This is the exact breastplate that the high priest got. Stone for stone. And you think the devil had it on. Come on, man. That let you know that these people don't know the law like they say they do. Because as soon as you seen that, your mind should have went to the law. Because you need another witness to verify what this is. Read verse 13 one more time. Ezekiel 28, verse 13, one more time.
You have been in Eden, the garden of Alahym, every precious stone, your coverings, the sardius, the topaz, the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, the carbuncle, and gold.
The workmanship.
Of your tabrets.
Tell him what workmanship and tabrets is, man.
Workmanship is malakah. That's occupation, your work, your business.
Taberets. This is what people come in and say, see, Satan was the minister of music. He was singing in heaven. This is what people get this from.
Yes. Tophe, a timbrel, tambourine, tabret.
Go ahead. Tell them what pipes is.
Naked, a groove, a socket, a hole, a cavity, settings.
A who?
A bezel, a pipe.
A pipe. But a socket. Why is a socket important in this instance? You might want to go to thinking about what his name is. Jacob. When his thigh got out of joint. But let's continue because we're not going to spend the whole time. He said, in the day that you was created. So what does this mean in the day that he was created? That's bara, the day that he was fashioned or formed. That's dealing with the aspect that he was high priest from the jump street. Because he was a priest after the order of Melchizedek, not Levi. Continue.
You, the anointed cherub that cover, and I have set you so. You was upon the Kadash mountain of Alahym. You have walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire.
So let's pause. Anointed. Mem Shach. Anointed. Satan ain't anointed. You can't read nowhere where the devil was anointed, nor do you read anywhere that the devil is a cherub. Because who was on the mercy seat? Cherubs. And those cherubs were flanking Alahym's throne and also were guardians in Eden or angelic being. We just associate that with the devil because that's what man told you. He said, I have anointed you a cherub and I made you that. Verse 15, and you was what?
Perfect in your ways from the day that you was created.
Until what?
Iniquity was found.
Well, Paul, see, it was iniquity found in Satan. What is iniquity here? Violent deeds of injustice, unrighteousness, wrong, perverseness. Well, the lamb was slain from the foundation of the world because it wasn't that it was anything wrong with him. The same thing, it wasn't nothing wrong with Adam. It was something wrong with his wife. It was something wrong with Yasharal. It was something wrong with man. Verse 16.
By the multitude of your merchandise, they have filled the midst of you with violence.
He said, by the multitude of your what?
Your merchandise.
When you look at merchandise, it is rekolah. That is merchandise, traffic, trade. Well, what is the multitude of his merchandise? What did the people kill him for? They killed him for the words that he spoke. They filled him with violence based off the words that he spoke. That's what they killed him for, didn't it? Mm-hmm. What is violence here? It's kamas, violence, wrong, cruelty, injustice. What injustice did Satan get killed for? What injustice? Because remember, it said the multitude of your merchandise, violence was within you. It's not that he's exerting violence. Violence happened to him. Listen to the next thing. And he said, and you have what?
You have sinned.
You have what?
Sinned.
Therefore I will do what?
Cast you as profane out of the mountain of Alahym.
And he will do what?
Destroy you, O covering cherub.
From the midst
of the stones of fire.
What you read in Isaiah 6, what did you see Isaiah walking through the midst of? Get it for him, man. Isaiah 6:1. Yeah, man. This light work, man. Praise Alahym. This light work.
In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw that Yahuwah sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphims, each one has 6 wings. With twain, and he covered his face, and with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. And one cried unto another and said, Kadash, 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 Yahuwah of hosts, the whole earth full of his esteem.
Whole earth full of his what?
Esteem.
Go ahead.
And the post of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Then said I, woe me, for I am undone, because I, a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, Yahuwah of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand.
Having who?
A live coal.
Wouldn't that be going through the midst of the stones of fire? I just wanted y'all to catch that.
He had taken with the tongues from off the altar And he laid upon my mouth and said, Lo, this hath touched your lips, your iniquity is taken away, and your sin purged. Awesome.
That's good. Now come back to verse 17 of Ezekiel 28. Listen what it says.
Your heart was lifted up because of your beauty.
Hold on. He said your heart was what?
Lifted up because of your beauty.
Now you got beauty. What do you have here? Your faith, beauty. Satan ain't got no beauty. We already read where they felt like Yahushua was lifted up because of his beauty. And you have corrupted what?
Your wisdom.
By what?
Reason of your brightness.
Now let's look at corrupted. What is it? It is shakah. It is to destroy, to go to ruin, to decay, to be marred, to be spoiled, to be injured. So this man was injured and rotted and marred. You could read that in Isaiah 52 about him being marred. Then we'll get it for him. Isaiah 52 and 10. Now it says his wisdom was corrupted, his kopma was corrupted by reason of his brightness. What is brightness? It's yafa, it's splendor, it's brightness, it's shining. Don't you know wisdom causes a man's face to shine? See, we always want to jump to the devil. Why y'all always jump to the devil? Why everybody so concerned with somebody who ain't worth nothing? It goes to show what our mindset is that you focus on the worst and the least instead of focusing on the best, which is really a reflection of how you feel about yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is probably reflecting the type of people you like to keep company with. Go ahead.
Yahuwah hath made bare his Kadash arm in the eyes of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth, salvation of our Alahym. Depart you, go you out from thence. Touch
Back
no
up to
unclean.
verse 7. Isaiah 52 and 7.
How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bring good tidings, that publish shalom, that bring good tidings of good, that publish salvation. And saith unto Zion, Your Alahym reign. The watchmen shall lift up your voice, with the voice together shall they sing. For they shall see eye to eye when Yahuwah shall bring again Zion.
My bad. I got to read too much. Go to verse. You can read verse. You can keep on going. I don't have to read too much. Go ahead.
Break forth in the joy, sing together, you waste places of Jerusalem. For Yahuwah have comforted his people, he hath redeemed Jerusalem.
He's done what?
Redeemed Jerusalem.
That's right.
Yahuwah have made bare his Kadash arm in the eyes of all the nations.
He made what?
Bare in the eyes of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our Alahym.
They sure lives.
Depart you, go you out from thence, touch no unclean. Go you out of the midst of her, be you clean that bear the vessels of Yahuwah. For you shall not go out with haste, nor go by flight, for Yahuwah will go before you, and Alahym Yasharal, your reward. Behold, my servant shall deal prudently.
He shall do what?
Deal prudently.
I want y'all to understand that prudently is to call. That's to be circumspect, to understand. You understand? Go ahead.
He shall be exalted and extolled.
And be what?
Very high.
And as many was what?
Stony at you. His visage was so marred.
His visage was what?
Marred.
So what?
Marred.
More than what?
Any man.
In the form?
More than the sons of men.
Now I want you to look at what does this mean when his visage? It's marais. It's his sight. It's his appearance, but also his spectacle. What is seen. So when you look at what is seen was marred, and that word means the corruption. It also could mean what you mean thought was red. So I can follow what you're asking, sweetheart. I don't know what you're asking about specifically. The word for marred is mishkaf, disfigurement, but also corruption. So you saw corruption because you saw the man die. He said to the point, another reason why they can't see Alahym even in the flesh or while being in it is a reflection. Indeed. That's why a lot of us can't see the love of God, understand the faith of God, because you can't actually see him in everything that you look at that's created of him. And that's why people always be like, you don't know who a God and who is it, because you can't see him when you're looking at him because you don't know him. That's why he said, you're not of my sheep as I told you. Because anybody, that's why he told Thomas, how long have I been with you, Thomas, and you have not known me? You know what I'm saying? People can be sitting and looking Alahym right in the face and still don't know him because they want him to be in the image that they want him to be in. They want to fashion him. They want him to do what they feel like he should do. They want him to move. They feel like he should move versus how he said he moves and shows that this is how he operates and this is what he values. That's the society we live in now, that you got people telling men what they should value versus what they say they value. That's how we do the Lord. You know what I'm talking about? See, the difference with him is he don't care what you think he should value. He values what he values. And you're either going to give him that or you're not. Oh, word. Oh, yeah, it's the purple and scarlet. Because it said the whore of Babylon had on a purple and scarlet garment. So it's akin to she's trying to operate in the office of the high priesthood in conjunction with the beast. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't really, because we like to look at the Catholic Church because of what they do and look at all the power they got. But when you really turn around and you look at it in real life, how much influence does the Catholic Church really have? We're not talking about the influence they had in the medieval times in the Renaissance when they had more political power to actually execute their political aims that they were shooting for at that time. We're talking about what influence do they have now? So what? They got a whole bunch of books in a vault, this, that, there, and the third. What influence do they have on the people to worship God the way most people say they Catholics don't even go to mass? Most people in America don't go to church at all. You know what I'm talking about? And don't fool with the word at all. Most people overseas, that turns a little different. And everybody overseas ain't a Catholic. You know what I'm talking about? So you would have to sit back and look at that, because they're not in no temple nowhere doing sacrifices or doing this, that, and the third. Don't nobody really care about them people. The only reason why you care about the Pope, or you believe people care about the Pope, is because they tell you that on TV when he pop up somewhere. So you condition your mind to believe that this is highly important. But in your day-to-day life, how many people you hear talking about the Pope? How many people you hear talking about the Catholic Church? You know what I'm talking about? They don't. Because you need to look at what you see in your day-to-day life, or the people you around and the experiences they have, man, and you'll actually see what's going on. It was just like I was talking to Cousin John, man. I was like, bro, I wear fragrance, right? I say, but when you go outside and you move around, how many people do you actually smell with cologne and perfume on when you going out and about? I don't smell too much of nobody. You know why? Because the mass majority of people don't wear it. You know what I'm talking about? But when you in the bubble of people who you in the fragrance community and you around people, that's what they talk about, that's what they own, you'll convince yourself in your mind that everybody is XYZ, when in reality, mass majority of men don't wear cologne. You know what I'm talking about? It's the same way you'll get on the internet and you'll hear sisters say, all these brothers marrying white women. But when you go out in the street, how many black men you see with a white woman on a day-to-day basis? How often do you see that? You know what I'm talking about? Is it an overwhelming thing? Every brother I see got a white woman. You don't see that. See, most people who make these comments, they don't go outside. You on the internet all day. You don't go outside. So you think what people talking about on the internet is real life. That's not real life. I done told y'all 1,000 times. The stuff that Bruce be arguing about on the internet, and we be thinking that the whole world know about this stuff. Man, these people don't know who these niggas is, man. Man, I've been told, man, go out here and ask these people, man, you think Nathaniel said and General Yohana or this brew over here is important. These people don't know who they is, man. When Pastor Dow was on Jason Whitlock, that got him some exposure. But you think average, everyday people know who Pastor Dow is? They don't. They know who T.D. Jakes is. He has a larger following. He has a larger network of influence. Man, don't nobody know who none of us is, man. Ain't nobody studying y'all. Nobody don't even care about the stuff we arguing about. When you go outside and you talk to people in real life, they don't care. They're not arguing about the stuff we arguing about. They have no concern with it. These are internet arguments and conversations. And because you have that in the circle of people that you interact with, you've convinced yourself that the whole world care about something that they're not even aware of. They don't even know that we argue about the stuff that we argue about. They don't even care. You think, how many people you done met, because you know people who ain't in the word, you think people walk around here talking about, oh, you black people say you Israelites. You think people had them conversations with you? No, they don't care. They're not concerned. And this is how I know you niggas don't get off your phone and you don't go outside. Because when you go outside, I guarantee you, if you was to run across 100 people, man, a good 85 of them ain't going to have no idea what you talking about none of the stuff you talking about, and don't care. Because you know what they worry about? How I'm paying my rent. My kids got to go here. My kids got to go there. I need to do this. I need to do that. Because what you bring in with them word-wise, it's not going to move them to serve Yahuwah because they don't care about that. But because this is the conversations that we have in the circles of people that we round, you're convincing yourself that this is what people care about, and they don't. Somebody who's broken mentally and emotionally and spiritually, they don't want to hear nothing about their Israelite, man. They don't care about that. They don't want to hear about these doctrinal disputes that you got going on. They don't care about that. They want to know, how can this word that you promote and that you say is for the salvation of the soul, can you give me the information out of it that can make me whole? But we don't want to do that. Jedediah said he thinks the stats came out that 80 to 90% of Christians don't read the word anymore besides going to church. And I could believe that too. And I don't know a lot of Christians, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds about reasonable. People don't, the stuff that we care about, people don't care about that. Crystal said she was told that in church, Satan was the minister of music and how he perverted the music and that praise and worship was so important. Satan didn't pervert anything. Man did that all by himself. I did with telling D yesterday, right? I don't know, you wasn't in the car. But it was an interview with Lil Richard where he was stating the original lyrics to Tutti Frutti. The original lyrics to Tutti Frutti was Tutti Frutti, good booty. Tutti Frutti, good booty. Then some other junk about how tight it is and how good. This man was singing about sodomy. He said they had him change the lyrics as he was going on some TV show to sing it, and they felt like it was too risque. And he was talking about, yeah, them the original lyrics, man. I was talking about booty hole. You know what I'm saying? That's not the devil. That's Little Richard. See, we want to put it on, it's the devil. Little Richard was a homosexual at the time. I believe that they say, you know, he converted himself, started dealing with the word. I definitely didn't heard him say out of his mouth that he stopped being a sissy. You know what I'm talking about? So I'll take him at his word. I ain't gonna sit back and say, no, that nigga still had wee-wees in his mouth. He said he wasn't gay no more, then he wasn't gay no more. I ain't following the nigga around. I don't know what he's doing. You know what I'm talking about? But the point of the matter was, that's not the devil. That was Little Richard. And what was Little Richard slinging about? His actual life experience. He liked booty. So he wrote a song about it. You know what I'm talking about? And that's the end of the day. And regardless if you think that some of these people are characters and all that, that's all that extra Illuminati. I don't give a damn about none of that stuff, man. Grow up. At the end of the day, they sinners. What you expect sinners to do? You want everything to be so fantastically great. I put it to you this way. Okay, all the artists in the music business and in movies is in the Illuminati. Nigga, now what? Because you think that's going to stop people from listening to the music? They don't give a damn. You think they're going to stop watching the movies and TV shows? They don't care. Y'all don't understand that that's not going to draw people to God because you tell them Jay-Z worship the devil. God, I like his music. I don't care what he do. These niggas is listening to a song and singing it word for word with a woman saying her coochie is pink and her booty hole is brown. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, shoot. I understand, Jedediah. Praise you. You got grown people with children excited to hear a song about a woman saying her booty hole is brown. You understand me? If it wasn't brown, baby, you'd be a mutant. So what do you expect? Because you think, oh, if I show them they worshiping the devil, these people are sinners. They worshiping the devil. You think, oh, he sold his soul to the devil. You can't sell your soul to the devil. The devil can't buy it. The soul belongs to Yahuwah. You don't even know what your words say. All souls are mine. A nigga can't sell his soul. See, you think selling his soul. No, that nigga has lended his members to unrighteousness, so that's who he got to obey. He can't sell his soul. It ain't his to sell. At the end of the day, man, what it comes down to is one thing. When it comes down to money, most people will compromise what they stand for and what they believe in and their principles and honor for some money. You know what I'm saying? You could put all that devil stuff out the window. You could throw all that out the window. When it comes down to it, buy that bread, depending on how much. See, so I never do that. You ain't been offered enough money yet to know what you wouldn't do. Unless you know you already got some principles and honor about yourself. If you ain't got no code of etiquette, and we used to say back in the day, coming from what Paul used to talk about, boy, you'll do anything for some money. That's why he say the love of money is the root of all evil. Because for what's going to spring out of it is the root of all evil. When you love money, that is where evil is going to spring from. That's the root that's going to lock you in. And a lot of people want money, and what they want more than money is fame, because people want attention, because people are broken, people are insecure, people got low self-esteem. And if they can get that from the throngs of people screaming their name, putting them on a pedestal, tell them how great they is, they will sacrifice the kingdom of Shamahin. See, you done forgot what it said in Hebrews, man. We just read the other day about Moses. Moses said he esteemed the reproach of Mashiach of greater price than the riches in Egypt. He was willing to suffer with the children of his people to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Some people love pleasure, so they're going to go for pleasure. Keep it simple. All that extra stuff, that's just some old junk because you fell off in a YouTube rabbit hole. But I done told you, man, we were studying the Illuminati and all that stuff before it was an internet. So when you actually had to read about this stuff and understand what these people got going on, you don't get caught up in all that, man. Because if celebrities wasn't involved, you niggas wouldn't even be talking about no Illuminati. Nigga, we've been talking about the Illuminati since 1995. Nigga, I was 15 years old, man. Them niggas in high school thought I was stone cold crazy. Nigga, we were talking about Adam Westphal and everything these crackers had going on, man. The only reason you talking about the Illuminati is because of rappers. Only reason why you talking about Masons is because of rappers. We been on that. And we ain't know nothing about no rappers. Nigga, we was looking at real politicians, real judges, real people who actually can affect something. You think entertainers got so much doggone sway. That's the people they put in front of you to keep you stupid. So while you focus on them, you ain't focusing on the people who actually got power. Because they guess what? They do this with all races of people. It ain't just niggas. But y'all don't want to hear that. She said, it's so amazing how this is what Crystal said, how the gospel community get up in arms about what people do musically or their attire, but don't dare speak out on the sin and other things that go on behind closed doors in the church. Why would they? Because we need you to keep, see, the gospel artists don't care because we need you to keep buying the records. Because at the end of the day, it's about money. You know what I'm talking about? People want money. People want fame. People want attention. People want validation. That's what you're missing. So that's why when you come to people with this stuff, that's why your information ain't effective. Because you're not speaking to the heart. So why are they gonna convert? Why are they gonna make a new one? It ain't no reason to. You ain't talking about nothing. Where you was at, man?
Isaiah 52.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we finished it. Come on back to Ezekiel 28 and 14. Yeah, man, you know what I'm talking about? I ain't even got to the stuff with the perfume and the ointment yet. But I get to it. And because I done been there, man, look at, man, my homeboy showed me all this stuff. Everybody get caught up. Look, he throwing up the devil horns. He throwing up the 3 6. Who gives a damn? Who cares? And when I say who cares, if you got that information, what are you going to do with it? To where it will positively affect another person's life. Because I'm not focusing on sinners. I don't care about them. Only thing I can tell you about a sinner is their reward is the lake where the worm dies not and the fire shall not be quenched. They're an example. Since they wear their sins out in the open, it ain't even hard to expose them because they're exposing themselves. You know what I'm talking about? So it's not even hard. You can use certain things that they do as a case study. You know what I'm talking about? A teachable moment when it comes to certain things. But as far as what they do for a living, what do you expect? What do you expect? Oh, the new world order. Who gives a damn about a new world order? Nigga, this man already told you one man gonna rule the whole. So you kept it. What you think you gonna band together and stop the word of God? The man has already purposed it. The man say his word is not coming back to him void, and it shall stand and perform all the intents of his heart. If it's Yahuwah's intent for one world government, you can't stop it. So why are you focusing on that, what you can't stop, versus focusing on preaching the gospel that souls can be saved? Why are you focusing on these sinners for? You can't stop what they got going on. Yahuwah has purposed it. It's his will that they do it. So his power could be made known when he destroy them. You can't stop that. Because you got the game back. You think you God. You know what I'm saying? You think you him, that you can dictate what's going on. You can't dictate nothing. You needed somebody to ransom your soul. You needed somebody to redeem you from corruption. You need somebody to deliver you from the hand of your enemies, that you might serve him in righteousness and kadosh without fear. You need that. He don't need that. Don't the book tell you that he gonna cause Alahym gonna cause all these people to give all their power to the beast for 1 hour? It say God was gonna do that. Let me show it to you real quick so you can see it. I got to see it. Look at this, Revelation 17. Verse 10. 7 kings, 5 are fallen. One is, the other is not yet coming. When he come, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, and he even is the 8th and is of the 7, go into perdition. And the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him, called, chosen, and faithful. And he said unto them, and I want you to know, you can go look at Deuteronomy 10 where he said he King of king and Lord of lords. This is another, who you think this is, man? It's the same person. He said unto him, the waters which you saw where the whore sit are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which you saw upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For Alahym hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Alahym should be fulfilled. See, we forget that Amos 4 and 13 tell you that Alahym declared to a man what his thought gonna be. This God's will. You can't stop it, because it ain't about you. You want to make it about you. That's your selfishness and your pride and the vanity of your mind, that you want to believe that something is about you when it has absolutely nothing to do with you. See, let me show you another one. I got you, Sivy. Just hold tight. I got you. Romans 9. Listen to it. Romans 9 and 15. Is that what I want? Yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead just because that's how I feel, and go to verse 7. Neither because they are, over verse 6, not as though this is Romans 9 and 6, by the way, not as though the word of Alahym have taken none effect, for they not all Yasharal, which are of Yasharal, neither because they are the seed of Abraham, all sons, but in Isaac shall your seed be called. That is, they which are the sons of the flesh, these not the sons of Alahym, but the sons of the promise accounted for the seed. See, if you ain't born of the word, you're not a son. Because you a natural born Israelite means absolutely nothing. Those who are born of the seed or born of the promise are the sons and daughters of the living Alahym. You being an Israelite does not make you a son or daughter of the living Alahym. You have first opportunity to become a son or daughter of Alahym, but it don't make you one. And if you born a natural seed, you going to hell. You're going to have to be born of the word. You're going to have to be born again. You're going to have to become a new creature. You're going to have to be renewed in the mind. You're going to have to grow and convert. You can't change. You got to grow. Changing means nothing. You change diapers, but you piss again. You doodle again. You change clothes because they get dirty. That's why I said, if I put off my coat, how should I defile it? He said, excuse me. He said, I put no, get it for me, man. I said it wrong. Songs of Solomon 5 and 2.
I sleep, but my heart wake. The voice of my beloved that not open to me, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled.
Listen to him.
For my head is filled with dew, my locks with the drops of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I have put off my coat.
I've done what?
Put off my coat.
How should I what?
Put it on.
And I've washed my
feet.
How should I?
Defile them.
Come on, man. This ain't talking about no changing. Because you change clothes, you change clothes because they get dirty. You change drawers because they ain't fresh. You know what I'm saying? The blood said, man, let your head not lack ointment and let your garments always be white, because you ain't got to change it. We don't want to change. You want to convert. You don't want to change. You want to be renewed. You want to be Kadash. You want to be a new thing. You know what I'm talking about? Because change is temporary. Renewing is forever. The choice is yours. You know what I'm talking about? Romans 9. I'm in verse 9. For this, the word of promise at this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only, but when Rebekah also had conceived by our father Isaac, being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Alahym according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that called. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Unrighteousness with Alahym? Alahym said no. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then, not of him that will, nor of him that run, but of Alahym that show mercy. For the scriptures say unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised you up, that I might show my power in you, that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Therefore he have mercy on whom he will, and whom he will harden. And you will say unto me, why do he yet find fault? For who have resisted his will? No, but old man, who are you to reply against Alahym? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed, why have you made me thus? Have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel under honor and another under dishonor? If Alahym willing to show wrath and to make his power known, endure it with much long suffering, the vessels of wrath fitted to the destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his esteem on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto esteem. So this is his prerogative. You got to understand, he done made vessels before the world was made, that his mercy would be showed on. And he got vessels that he made for the purpose to make his power be known. And it's his prerogative to do it. But some people, you know, God, what type of nigga is you? You proud, sanctimonious punk bastard Jew? How you a created creature gonna tell the creator what and how he gonna operate? That's whole nigga activity. That's the sign of a man who will let his woman tell him what and is gonna be done in his house. That's a man who done took the time to create a life for himself, do X, Y, Z, and let his old lady tell him what he gonna do. You's a pussy nigga. You ain't no man, you let your woman tell you what you gonna do and what you built. What type of nigga going for that? You put in all the work. You made all the sacrifices. You put in all the time. You dealt with all the suffering, all the pain. And you going to let a nigga tell you how you supposed to operate and what you created? You's a special type of idiot if I ever saw one. Why you think it's a lot of women who want to do that? Because they want to be able to understand that type of power. See, as a man, y'all underestimate the power in the ability to build something. That's why a lot of women want that. You know what I'm talking about? That's why they want to go do that. But see, the difference between you and them is they only want to do it for a limited time. You know what I'm talking about? They only want to do it for a limited time. And then after they've done it and they've accrued a particular type of resources, and now they say, okay, now I want to be a woman again. Now they want a certain type of man, and then that certain type of man don't want them. Not because there's something inherently wrong with them, but they will not build and conform themselves to be this woman's helpmeet. They're not going to do that. So they have to get a lesser man who will be okay with being a woman's helpmeet. Because the man was not created to be a helpmeet. So if you're dealing with a man, he will not become your helpmeet. He was not created to help further your vision. You should know this from your law, because Adam was tilling the ground and he said there's not a helpmeet for him. So there was something given for Adam to do, then he gave someone to assist it. Yahuwah gave him the vision, Yahuwah gave him the plan. Here go the woman, help it. You know what I'm talking about? See, you dealing with so many men who ain't got no vision and ain't got no plan, that you ain't got no thought to help, or you just lazy. And that's what you see with a lot of people with the word. And being the helpmeet to Yahuwah ain't always dealing with preaching. Everybody think that being the helpmeet is sharing some scriptures. You could be sharing some scriptures and doing more harm than good because you don't know what you're talking about. And not only that, but you ain't even been a partaker of the fruit. Come on back, man. Ezekiel 28, man. We're finna get ready to get on out of here. I ain't gonna be able to get to all the way with the bramble, but it's all good. Read verse 14 in Ezekiel 28 one more time for me, man.
You, the anointed cherub that cover, and I have set you. You was upon the Kadash mountain of Alahym. You have walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. You perfect in your ways from the day that you was created till iniquity was found in you.
Mm-hmm.
By the multitude of your merchandise, they have filled the midst of you with violence, and you have sinned.
Therefore,
I will cast you as profane out of the mountain of Alahym.
I will do what?
Destroy you, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of
Tell
fire.
them what profane is in verse 16.
That's kalos, profane, defiled, to pollute, to desecrate.
And he cast him out as defiled because he had to become a man. Verse 17.
Your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. You have corrupted your wisdom by reason of your brightness.
Mm-hmm.
I will cast you to the ground. I will lay you before kings that they may behold you.
And that you have
defiled your sanctuary
by the multitude
of your iniquity,
by the iniquity
of your traffic.
Therefore I will bring forth
a fire from the midst of you,
and it shall what?
Devour you,
and I will bring you
to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all them that behold you.
Remember, he said if there be a fire kindled, then who gonna put it out? I would have told you in Luke 12, verse 49. Listen to verse 19.
All they that know you among the people shall be astonished at you.
And you shall be a what?
A terror.
And never
you anymore.
Now tell them what terror is in this part, and astonished. Because it said them people was amazed and said, surely this man is the son of Alahym. I would have sent him.
Astonished is Charmaine, to be desolate, to be appalled, stunned, stupefied.
That's what they were looking at there. You can read it in Matthew 27. What else?
Terror is Balaha, that's terror, destruction, calamity, a dreadful event.
A dreadful event. And what is you shall never be anymore? You don't think seeing a man getting killed is a dreadful event? Because that's what he's telling you going to happen to this man, to the king of Tyrus. Now notice that it was two different things that were happening with the king of Tyrus in this chapter so far. And now we'll look at Zidon also. Go.
Never you, never is nothing. And then anymore is as far as it's odd.
Meaning basically, man, you just watch this man die. Verse 20, Ezekiel 28.
Again, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set your face against Zidon and prophesy against it, and say, thus saith Yahuwah Alahym, behold, I against you.
O Zidon.
And I will be esteemed in the midst of you.
And they shall know
that I, Yahuwah,
when I shall
have executed judgment in her, and shall be sanctified in her.
For I will send into her
pestilence,
blood,
into her streets,
and the wounded
shall be judged in the midst of her
by the sword
upon her on every side.
And they shall know
that I, Yahuwah,
and there shall be no more
a pricking briar unto the house of Yasharal,
nor grieving
thorn of all that round about them
that despise
them, and they shall know that I.
Remember that bramble was what? A prickling thorn, was it not? Let's continue.
Yahuwah Alahym. Thus saith Yahuwah Alahym,
when I have gathered
the house of Yasharal from the people whom they are scattered,
and shall be sanctified
in them in the sight of the heathen, then shall they dwell in their land that I have given to my servant Jacob.
And they shall dwell
safely there.
And what they gonna do?
Build houses, plant vineyards.
And they shall dwell with what? Tell them what confidence is.
That's talk. That's security, safety.
Continue.
Confidence, hope.
When I have what?
Executed judgments
upon
all those that despise them round about them.
And they
shall know that I, Yahuwah, their Alahym.
So what do you see out of this, right? You see a man who gets put to death and destroyed. And then because of his death and destruction, then the next thing it ends with is the people being delivered. This is what he just told you. You know what I'm talking about? And it's even more. Ezekiel 31 is where you see the thing with the trees. You know what I'm talking about? I'll read you verse 10. Matter of fact, I'll read you verse 8. This is how you can know this. Matter of fact, I'm going to read you verse 6. See it keep on going. And I had to read the whole thing. I don't want to do that. But let's look at verse 5 of Ezekiel 31. Therefore, his height was exalted above all the trees of the field, and his boughs were multiplied, and his branches became long because of the multitude of waters when he shot forth. All the fowls of Shamahim made their nest in his boughs. Under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young. Under his shadow dwelt all great nations. Remember, that's what the bramble said. If you're going to anoint me to be king, you're going to have to trust in my shadow. Thus was he fair in his greatness in the length of his branches, for his root was by great waters. And you can go back and you can read Psalms 1. You can read Ezekiel 47. You can read Jeremiah 17, where it tell you how that tree of life, which bring forth fruit in this season, had its roots near great waters. The cedars in the garden of Alahym could not hide him. The fir trees were not like his, the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of Alahym was like unto his beauty. Do you see how that's referencing it, how it's talking about the beauty of the anointed cherub, and it's telling you the same thing here about this tree? Because see, it's nothing more beautiful than faith. This ain't talking about a tree of knowledge of good and evil. This talking about a tree of life. Ain't no tree like it. Ain't nothing like faith. The law don't compare to it. It's greater than that. That's what you don't realize, is that the tree of life was greater than the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Yes, sir, Brother Nate. It's probably that's late in his neck of the woods. Look at verse 9, though. I made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that in the garden of Alahym envied him. Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Alahym, because you have lifted up yourself in height and have shot up his top among thick boughs, and his heart is lifted up in his height. I have therefore delivered him to the hand of the mighty one of the heathen. He shall surely deal with him. I have driven him out for his wickedness. And strangers, the terrible of the cut him off and have left him upon the mountains and all the valleys. His branches are fallen, his boughs are broken by the rivers of land, and all the people of the earth are gone down from his left him. And upon his ruin shall all the fowls of Shamahim remain, and all the beasts of the field shall be upon his branches, to the end that none of the trees by the waters exalt themselves for their height, neither shoot up their top among the thick boughs, neither the trees stand up in their height. All that drink water, for they all delivered unto death to the neither parts of the earth, and the midst sons of men with them that go down into the pit. Thus saith Yahuwah Alahym, in the day when he went down to the grave, I caused a mourning. I covered the deep for him. I restrained the floods thereof. The great waters were stayed. I caused Lebanon to mourn for him, and all the trees of the field fainted for him. And I made all the nations to shake at the sound of his fall, when I cast him down to hell with them that descend into the pit. All the trees of Eden, the choice and the best of Lebanon, all that drink water shall be comforted in the neither parts of the earth. Now, we didn't talk about it. You think that's about some trees? Trees can't go down into the grave. What trees need to be comforted for? This was dealing with Mashiach being cut down and humbled, everyone leaving from him, but him going down to the grave to preach to the spirits in prison, that those who in the neither parts of the earth might be comforted by the good news of the salvation that came forth from the Alahym, who came down and made himself a man and suffered in the flesh. Now, hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. We'll start right there for now, and we'll pick up, Yah willing, on tomorrow. Back in Judges 9 and what we got to look at in that Proverbs 27 with the perfume and the ointment. So we didn't get to it tonight. But I appreciate y'all time, and I bless y'all at the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all time this evening. Prayerfully, you got some understanding out the deal. Things to sit back and consider on. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, if you didn't look at it or realize it before, don't let nobody come around there telling you that's the devil. And Ezekiel 28 and 13, when he got on the breastplate of the high priest. Got on the breastplate of the high priest. and we could go back and look at things in Hebrews. We'll talk about Melchizedek and all that there, man. Y'all willing, maybe we will. Because it's telling you that you come into the bramble if you anoint me the king to rule over you, because he was made king and priest on his throne. You understand? The things that tie into that. But yeah, man, you got to make sure. A lot of people don't really know the word like that. So you got to make sure that people know the word like that if you're going to listen to what they got to say. And like I've told you 1,000 times, and I tell you 1,001, make sure that you're listening for the voice of the shepherd. Just because somebody know they're an Israelite don't mean they know what they're talking about. Praise Yahuwah, brother Marvin, man. And I'm not saying these things and you be like, yeah, you got to listen to me. You ain't got to listen to me, man. But your soul got to be saved, though. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not the repository of all scriptural information. You know what I'm talking about? But your soul got to be saved. So you got to make sure that the information is proper, that it give you what you need. Like I said earlier, a lot of people not arguing, and people in the world don't care about the stuff that you're not going to win those souls with what we out here talking about. As a collective, it's just not gonna happen, because the people out here outside, bro. You actually got to talk to real people, and you'll see that they don't care about this stuff that we online talking about. No, not Yasharal, but that's Yahusha himself. Jedediah. You know what I'm saying? People out here in the world, they don't care about this stuff that we be on Clubhouse or Facebook or any of this stuff talking. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? If you took the time to take your head out your butthole, you know what I'm saying, and actually see what's going on out here, and stop getting caught up with the stuff you see on the internet, and actually go outside and maybe look in people's eyes when you walking around. Well, it's a lot because see, I be seeing people in live. Boy, I see, boy, it's a lot of people. Boy, it's pain in their eyes, man. It's suffering in their eyes. I ain't talking about I'm just not happy because it gives a damn if you happy. I'm talking about, boy, there's people out here, man. It's pain in them. You know what I'm saying? There's people dealing with real stuff out here, man. And all you want to talk to them is we the people of the book. Nobody don't care nothing about that, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe y'all ain't never been around nobody who took their life before, but I have. You know what I'm talking about? People had a lot going on in them, man. Maybe you ain't never been around somebody who pretty much just destroyed their life and seen the pain in their eyes, man, that they didn't really care what happened to them. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up and down. And you think the stuff you talking about gonna move them? You ain't even being a real person. Man, we just started dealing with this thing that you done forgot to be a real person to even be able to interact with people because you feel like you got to show that you just righteous person all the time. Man, if you're a righteous person, it's going to show. You ain't got to do all that, man. Don't you realize righteous people don't feel the need to run up on everybody they see talking about some Bible, man? People are already going to know you just when you come up on them. You got a different type of aura about you, about how you move, how you interact. You ain't got to do none of that. Man, you could be in an area full of sinners and just simply slide off and be to yourself because you don't want to participate in nothing they got going on. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't got to be around here, you sinners, and y'all. Ain't nobody got time to do all that. I'm finna let sinners be. And I'm finna be over here. Because sinners gonna do what sinners gonna do. I ain't got to do all that, man. God, I told you, I done seen it, man. All that acting like you got to talk about Bible 24/7. It be the nigga you not on that. Niggas who own that, they just own it, man. It's just how they move. It's just how they move, man. We got to do all that, man. There's some real stuff going on out here, man. There's people hurting out here, man. In a multitude of different areas, man. You know what I'm saying? And multitude, man, you got to learn. Just because you serve God, I mean you can't be a real person no more. When I say a real person, I mean it being authentically you. Because most people who always want to flex with word, you ain't really converted. You ain't been made new. So that's not really you. You just put on a cloak to cover up who you actually are. And I told y'all, some of y'all, that's why people don't take you seriously. Because they know that's not the real you. That's not the real you. But nevertheless, man, all esteem and praise to Abba and Shamahim in the name of Yahushua, man. I appreciate y'all, man. You who are willing, man. We'll be back on tomorrow, man. 2:30, 3 o'clock, somewhere in that time frame, man. We'll make it what it do. Y'all willing, man. Till that time. All right, Clubhouse, man. I am out of here. It's 11:30 at night. I know you niggas ready to